All right, everyone, welcome. This is Majora's Mask, 80% Glitchless, and today with us we have our two runners, Dope and Jess.
Yo, yo.
Hello.
All right, so we're gonna get us a countdown, and we'll start out here. You guys ready?
This is for the timer, right?
Yeah, for the timer.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got us a countdown going down. 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, everyone. Again, welcome. This is Majora's Mask 80% Glitchless. If you are familiar with any of the other categories of this game, this is going to be quite a different experience. You'll get to see a lot more of the game than you normally would in an 80% category. So you'll be seeing all the dungeons, we'll be fighting all the bosses, and you'll get to see a lot of interesting movement and tricks. Don't think glitchless means no tricks, because there will still be plenty of tricks and really neat strategies that'll be used in this run that won't be reliant on glitches like infinite sword glitch or bottle duplication or any of those things you may be familiar with. But first off, I'll go ahead and explain that this run is done optimally on the Japanese Wii Virtual Console version, because that is the version with the least amount of lag. And also, JP has a couple of exclusive tricks that English does not have that we'll be taking advantage of later in the run. The main one being something called Power Crouch Stab. I'll explain that a little bit later as it becomes more relevant, but just keep it in mind that not only is there text differences, but there's also more differences than just that, which will come into play later on. So for the beginning part of this run is going to be really slow. There's this long intro cutscene, and then we'll be coming up to the infamous first cycle of the game. All this is pretty much going to last until about 24 or 25 minutes into the run. So until then, it's going to be kind of slow going. But once it hits 25 minutes in, we'll be kind of hitting the ground running from that point, and you'll be seeing a lot of really cool stuff from there. So starting off, we get our ocarina stolen here by the Skull Kid, and you'll notice the text is going a little bit slowly here. We have the two different kinds of text in this game called slow text and quick text. This is all slow, but then later on we'll be able to get to speed the text up faster, which is called quick text. And that's also something to note, is that yes, there are text differences between the Japanese and English, but because most of the game is quick text, that's actually not a major difference. Two of the biggest things in this category that you'll see that you may or may not see in a different kind of category is the movement and the in-game time management. Those are the two most important, crucial things about this category. One of the things that you can easily lose you time. And coming up ahead, you'll see them turn around and get back and walk backwards into this tunnel coming up ahead. They're going to be doing a trick called a quick turnaround to turn around very quickly. Backwalking turns out to actually be the fastest form of movement as human Link, if you're going a very large distance. The general rule of thumb is if you can get to an area within 4 rolls or less, then you want to roll there. But if it takes longer than that, or you have to turn, then you want to backwalk. So you can see not Jess, but Dope coming up to that right now. They're both doing it actually right now. But jump across these logs and then get into the next cutscene here. Unfortunately, this is quite slow, as I mentioned earlier. Not a whole lot going on until about 25 minutes, but hopefully we'll be able to get this a little bit more exciting coming up in the first cycle. In a few minutes, we should have another commentator popping into the call to help me talk about this game, and so it won't just be me rattling on, rambling for almost 3 hours.
Yeah, all we're trying to do in first cycle is just get out of it as fast as possible. There isn't really that much we can do there.
Yeah, the objective of first cycle is just to get to the third night as quickly as possible. and then just wait out. And there's nothing else we can do to progress time, so we just have to do a few more things and wait until midnight when the clock tower opens so we can get our ocarina back. And then the run can start from there. That's when things really start getting good. The sad part about this game here is that the first cycle, intro and first cycle, is a part of pretty much every single category. There's no category that can avoid this currently, as we know. Would be really nice, but as of right now, there is no way to avoid this.
Yeah, and there are theories for becoming human in first cycle, but none of them are possible yet.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously you can do that in Glitchless, but...
Yeah. One thing to note here is that there actually is an RNG route that can save between, like, what is it, 15, up to 15 seconds, depending on RNG, where you would get some rupees from the very beginning of this game, and then you'd grab a few from right here, grab a few around Clocktown. But instead, what we're going to do for consistency, marathon reasons, we're going to grab a chest in the stockpot inn that'll fill up our wallet. That way we can purchase the bomb bag, which we'll need for later on in the run. But if you watch this game at a high level, you'll likely see them collecting rupees from the bushes. Again, doing a turnaround backwalk here. Just saves a little bit of time while we're just running.
Yeah, this is a case where backwalk is only like ever so slightly faster.
Yeah, probably just a few frames, isn't it? Something like that, something very small.
Like it's pretty small in this case.
Coming up, there will be a small little trick we call Tattle Tech Skip. They're going to be able to side hop into this flower coming up ahead, and from there, if you do it just right, you can actually skip a small section of Tattle Text, which saves, I think, 2 seconds, 1 to 2 seconds, something small like that. But it's worth going for sure. We'll see if they get it. Okay, looks like Jess got it. Dope's feed is frozen for me, so I can't tell if he got it or not. Oh, they skipped past there, so I'm not sure if Dope got it because I can't. His feed was giving me trouble, but I saw Jess that got it. But if you missed that, you actually get a small text box with Tattle, and she talks to you for like a couple of seconds.
Hello.
Okay, Dope did not get it. Okay.
Hello, Kuroshi.
Oh no, Jess failed to HMS skip.
What? Oh my god.
Okay, no, for real. There's the trick there you can use in other categories called HMS or Happy Mass Salesman skip, where you can pause through that, but we don't allow that in this category. So we just have to watch this cutscene.
Yeah, because cutscenes in this game take 2 frames to activate, so if you just pause by for 1 frame at a time, you can just avoid the activation altogether.
Yeah, general rule of thumb in Glitchless is like a lot of big major cutscene skips like that are just not allowed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can use the same mechanic to skip several cutscenes, but all of them are banned.
The biggest exceptions I know to that, you can actually use to save and reset to skip that one flashback cutscene, and then there's the Ikana roof skip that we also allow, which are like the exceptions that I can think of off the top of my head right now.
So now that we're in Clocktown, we're just going to get to day 3 as fast as possible, and the best way to accomplish that is to go to Anji's grandmother, and she can read you stories that advance the whole day, so we're going to go do that.
Yeah, so we go to the grandmother to advance to the second day and then the final day, and then Grandma won't read us stories to go to nighttime on the 3rd day, so we have to go from there and go to the Scarecrow, which is in the other side of town in West Clocktown. But we hop over here onto the Steku Flower and enter the inn from the top, because this door up here is not locked at any time of day, whereas the bottom one is until, I believe, 8 a.m.
Yeah, so all we're trying to do for this cycle, we can't actually get Ocarina or anything until midnight on the final day, so we just make it final day as fast as possible, and then use some of the waiting time at nighttime before midnight to get a couple things done. Ultimately, it's an auto-scroller.
Mm-hmm. You'll notice that Grandma's text was actually very fast compared to what we saw earlier in the intro. That's the quick text versus the slow text, like I was talking about earlier. Text smashing in this game is actually really, really strange. It's really hard to get to do optimally.
Mm-hmm. There are different kinds of text boxes, and you can't just mash the same for all of them and be optimal, unfortunately.
Yeah, because actually, if you actually mash, I can't talk English. If you mash the button too fast, you can actually delay the text box infinitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on quick text, if you're theoretically able to mash B 20 times a second, you would just delay the text box forever.
Mm-hmm.
So when there's like a string of quick text boxes, you want to hit B like once or twice to get it going, and then just mash A through all of it.
Correct.
A lot of people don't do that because obviously you're not going to be mashing B 20 times a second, but it can just save time throughout the run if you do mash B really fast.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like incredibly noticeable, I don't think.
Mm-hmm. And as a note, this game runs at 60 input frames, but only 20 frames visually.
Yeah, the pause menu runs at 30 visual frames, and the main menu, like the file select, runs at 60.
Yeah.
And we're on night 3 now. We're not going to be doing much, so it's mostly just going to be waiting and just kind of messing around.
Dope did a little trick right there called a gainer to get on the top of that shelf. We'll be using that trick a little bit later to get into the clock tower early. Nice gainer there, by the way, Dope.
Yeah, we're able to make use of some of this in game time by getting rupees and getting the bomb bag, but other than that, there's just so much spare time.
In the spare time, we'll be doing a couple of things: getting the money for the bomb bag, and also going over to the. Oh, we get the ferry from the East Clocktown as well, and then we use that to get magic from the stray ferry here in North Clocktown. So we need to get magic to be able to get our ocarina back, and then we need bombs for later on in the next cycle.
Another interesting little factoid, like, a lot of times people will come into speedrun chats and will be like, is this game completable in just one cycle? And, well, technically no, but we, after first cycle, Glitchless, this run is actually done in just one cycle. So after we get Ocarina and play Song of Time, that's our last time actually playing Song of Time for the run, which is pretty cool.
There is a beginner route that does a secondary Song of Time, but it's, of course, slower.
Also, there is a faster way to get rupees in first cycle. You can go in a Termina Field during first cycle, but you have to backwalk past the East Clocktown Garden. That's not allowed, but that's used in glitch categories to pass the time.
Yeah. Because the reason why that saves time is because when we're waiting on in-game time here, and opening the inn chest and going inside the inn actually freezes the in-game clock. So we want to once we get to this third night, we want to minimize anything that we do that is not progressing in-game time. You can see Dope was just kind of waiting on the bomb shopkeeper, and I think Jess did it as well. They wait until he gets all the way to the shelf here before they talk to him, because if you talk to him early, you have to wait on him to walk up to the counter, and during that time, in-game time is frozen. So now we just have to wait on midnight of the last day, or final day, as it's called in the English version.
I promise the run gets more interesting.
Yeah, once we hit about the 25-minute mark, that's when we really start get. OMG, Jess, you just clipped out of bounds. You just did a glitch.
I'm banned.
Oh,
Dang.
How dare you? No, I'm just kidding. Didn't really save any time, so we don't care.
Yeah.
But normally, what you're supposed to do here is you're supposed to play the bomber mini game and go to the bomber hideout to ultimately get the moon's tier, so you can get access to that Deku flower there and fly up on top of the clock tower. But you can just do a little backflip trick we call a gainer, or you do either an inverted backflip or you can do a gainer to get up there without needing the moon's tier. And fun fact, when you climb up the ledge, if you hold the target button and walk into the heart piece, you actually won't collect it. As you can see, Dope was standing there in the middle of that heart piece and wasn't collecting it. That's the reason why.
That's called collection delay.
it is a glitch.
Well, we both already done glitches. I thought this was glitchless.
Playing the game is a glitch, guys.
But yeah, the gainer that they use there is used in several spots in the run to help you get up to ledges that are normally inaccessible without doing slow stuff.
Yeah, there'll be, I think, 2 or 3 other instances of using a gainer to have little shortcuts later on. We'll point those out later. But that particular instance, you don't need the gainer. You can do a backflip from a precise angle and do it too. So.
Yeah. Just a small thing here is, after that cutscene of the fireworks and such and the clock tower opening, usually Tattle comes and talks to you, but if you just spin as soon as you gain control, you can skip Tattle talking to you there.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really something you'll fail, but it's time saver.
If you're too far away from the door, as long as you're standing by the door and then just mash the heck out of the A button, and you'll be fine. Get our ocarina back, and we learn the first song of the game, which will be the Song of Time. Another one of these lovely, unskippable cutscenes. It does have some really nice music, though. I've always really liked the sound of the Song of Time. It's always been really so tranquil.
I've just started drowning it out after hearing it thousands of times. Honestly, forget it's even playing.
I think Zero mentioned this earlier, but we will be skipping a cutscene soon. After you play Song of Time for the first time, if you don't reset, there's a cutscene that plays, but since we're allowed to do the run, like, we don't have to not reset the game at all, so we can just... we play Song of Time there, we hit yes, and then we reset right after to skip the cutscene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that actually used to not be allowed a couple of years back, but then there was a vote, and we decided it's okay, because we don't care about keeping the run in a single segment.
Yeah, that cutscene that plays after the first Song of Time is pretty long, too.
I think it's like 50 seconds that you save by resetting there. It's pretty ridiculous.
So here's the only instance of Song of Time in the run. Unfortunately, the cutscene frenzy is not over yet, but after the beginning of the second cycle, things really pick up.
Yeah, we got a few more minutes. We got to talk to the Happy Mask salesman and get the Deku mask and get turned back into human. But after that happens, then we should be pretty much good to go.
So here's he's gonna whip out his massive organ he got from somewhere.
Just pulls an organ out of nowhere.
He's gonna use it to play 3 notes.
3 notes.
And it probably has like 1,000 on it. So I don't know if it was mentioned because I wasn't here in the first couple minutes, but there are just kind of like we had in the first cycle, but to a way more exciting extent. There's a lot of in-game time management in the run, because there's one major in-game time segment where you're trying to make it to the ranch before the aliens get there, and it actually affects the entirety of the cycle because it's going to affect when you're inverting, when you're uninverting, and you're basically there's like a standard of play that you're trying to meet so that you're wasting in-game time doing things that you need to do anyway effectively. And the whole dynamic of it makes the category really interesting.
Yeah, the first thing we've actually got to do a whole bunch of stuff before the first night and get the Garo mask before night 1. That's the first big section. And then after that, everything will be leading up to the aliens minigame in the ranch.
Mm-hmm.
Which there actually is a route where you can skip doing the aliens. It's about 10 to 15 seconds slower. But it's good to note.
Yeah, the aliens is just so we can get a bottle to make Zora egg collecting faster, so we don't have to do extra trips to Pirate's Fortress.
It's not just the bottle too, but it also gives us milk, which we need for getting the mirror shield.
Yeah, so
it's 2 for 1.
For beneath the well.
Mm-hmm. We'll also be doing the Goron race minigame later on, just to get the bottle for the egg collection.
Mm-hmm.
Because optimally, we want to have 3 bottles at the very end. That way, we would limit the amount of trips. So there's 4 eggs in Pirate's Fortress and 3 eggs in Pinnacle Rock. And optimally, we'd have 3 bottles, so we'd do like 2 trips to Pirate's Fortress and 1 trip to Pinnacle Rock and get all of them done.
Yeah, right out the gates, you're gonna be heading straight for your first bottle, which is the witch bottle.
Mm-hmm.
And then
we have to go to Swamp anyway to get a Sonata and go to Fall Temper, so it's just conveniently on the way to grab that one.
Mm-hmm. And we're off. So one cool thing that's kind of different is because in other categories, pretty much every other category, you're doing glitches, you're using bombs, using a lot of explosives, and the whole route is kind of routed around explosive count. But in this one, we just buy a bomb bag in first cycle, and then there's only 1 RNG bomb drop that we need throughout the run because you really don't use a lot of explosives in Glitchless. So you're not hessing everywhere, you're not mega flipping, you're not hovering. So it's really nice, and that RNG bomb drop is like right here, right after.
Yeah, we'll see if they can get a drop with the first bush, or if they have to farm a few bushes to be able to get the bomb drop they need.
There's a pretty good chance of getting first try bombs. I think it's like 80%, but obviously there is the chance you just get horrible luck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this can cost so much time. Like if you get like 4th try, a lot of runners will just reset here.
Yeah, I think most people, if you get like 3rd, most people I think reset at that point. Unless you're just going through and you don't really care. But if you're going for a good time, then getting anything worse than 2nd try is pretty much a run over.
Looks like nobody gets first. Mm-hmm. Oh, there goes Dope. That's good. So he doesn't have to worry about getting completely destroyed.
They both got 2nd try. Nice.
Try, nice.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
That's honestly the most, aside from some boss fights, that's really the most major like instance of RNG in the run, which is really nice. This category does not have a lot of RNG.
Yeah. We have a little bit of a cutscene here, a couple minutes to kind of chill after that little RNG section.
Do you want to mention why we're using Deku?
Oh,
movement?
yeah, for movement. So any transformation besides human actually moves slightly faster than human, even just like regularly walking. So we want to use Deku there. Not only that, but also Deku spinning through the bushes is faster than doing a spin attack as human. So it's the best thing to use Deku there.
Yeah, we're going to be using Deku to traverse the swamp waters anyway, so there's no reason to have Deku on right now.
You mean not to have Deku on?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the beginning of the run, before you get Goron Mask, you do a lot of backwalking. Because I don't know if you probably mentioned in the intro, but
Yeah,
backwalking is fast. Yeah, it's fast. So
yeah,
there's a lot of backwalking in this section.
Once you get Goron, though, it becomes mostly a lot of it is Goron movement, unless you just have to like a couple times.
So the main objective here is going to be get the bottle, get Pictograph Box, get Sonata, and go to Woodfall. At the beginning of the run. So yeah.
And the reason we got those bombs from that those patches right there is we want to do a couple of damage boosts up in Deku Palace to make that a little bit faster. To get we're gonna be grabbing magic beans for later, and then grabbing Sonata so we can open the Woodfall Temple.
Lots of movement optimization during this section.
We also want to make sure we have at least some money. We'll be getting some later on, but we do need to buy magic beans later. I believe we need at the very minimum 4 rupees, but you'll usually have that when you're by the time you're farming bombs. But you want to make sure to have at least 4 for the magic beans.
Because in Deku Palace you can get 36 guaranteed, and we need enough to buy 5 magic beans, and you get 1 free. And but it's very rare that you don't have 4. Like, you'd have to get like instant bombs and instant bomb drops, and then not get a rupee from one of these bushes or something.
Yeah, there's so many bushes here, though. It's pretty much it's very, very unlikely you won't have at least 4 rupees by this point, unless you're just not hitting bushes.
Yeah.
So we have to actually take off Deku there to talk to the witch, because she won't actually talk to us if we're Deku. And one small thing you might have noticed there, you might have heard like a little error noise there. They actually used the blank C button to cancel through that text faster than just waiting it out. It saves like, I think, a second or so.
So here's where you'll see some of the in-game time management stuff showing, because they're both runners are going to be inverting right now, and that's to set up their in-game time for basically the whole run. It's gonna time their uninvert for later to a place where they can do it conveniently to make aliens on time.
Yeah, because they want to get to do a bunch of stuff before this first night, but also get to Garo Mask at a specific time. So that's the way they set up their time for aliens later on.
And it gets very awkward later if you don't time this well and play well, because there are large, like, because you need to uninvert to make the in-game time good later, and there are like large chunks of time where you can't actually uninvert because you're either on a horse or you're in water pushing the cow or something. So that's really important that they have a standard of play that they want to meet from this point on, so the in-game time works out.
Something to note here, they're actually going through this forest as human. And the reason for that is because they have to be human to talk to the witch and give her the red potion here. And putting on Deku and then taking it back off would actually be slower than just running through the forest here as human. Kind of contradicts what we were talking about earlier about Deku being faster, but in this one specific case, it's actually better just to stay as human. We save the witch here from the woods, and then we have to go to the boat ride and get the pictograph box and ride the boat to the Deku Palace.
There are several ways to get past the Octo to get into Palace, but none of them are allowed in Glitchless, so this is really the only option. You don't actually use Picto Box in the run.
It just happens to be that we get it because it's just a byproduct of having to use this method. One thing we could mention, I suppose, is that when you talk to the witch, you have to be careful not to be standing near the door, because if you're standing next to the door, it will actually delay the boat ride cutscene, and you can actually leave the hut without actually getting taken on the boat ride. So you have to make sure to stay away from the door.
Yeah, that technique's actually used in other categories, like 100%. So yeah, it's really nice. Both of them got second try bombs, so they're synced up right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty nicely.
Yeah.
A lot of glitchless races don't start off like this because somebody will get good RNG and somebody will get horrible RNG.
Other than that, though, Glitchless is sort of a pretty consistent category. As you mentioned earlier, there's not a whole lot of RNG outside of that and a couple of boss fights.
Especially with the long aliens in-game time segments, like
yeah.
A lot of times it's either you're making it really tight because you play the same because you set it up that way, or your run's over. But like obviously in a race setting, it's gonna be a little bit different. No one's gonna really play the in-game time all that tight. But yeah, overall, the categories are really consistent.
Coming up here in Deku Palace, you can actually just jump around these Deku scrubs and not have to talk to them as Deku. You can see the Jess just did right there. Saves a little bit of time, and then
here's the first instance of a damage boost in the run. You just take damage midair, and you get boosted back like that.
Yeah, and then coming up, they're going to be doing another gainer here in the corner to be able to get up here. This something to note here is that this bean grotto is actually in a different location in the English version, but because this is Japanese, it's actually faster to go this way. If English did happen to be the faster version of this category, this would actually do a slightly different route, likely where we get beans later, because there's a little handy shortcut we can use here after the beans to go over to Sonata.
Although it actually is faster to get beans after you get Sonata. It's like a second faster. I want to say I've been told to go on the left side of Palace and do like a 2-frame damage boost and then Death Warp at beans.
Yeah, it's fast. That is a little bit faster, but it's also.
It's interesting. No one really does. Like there are only a couple runners that go for that. It just makes it quite a bit harder, and you have to manage health and stuff, and it's annoying.
I believe Glitchless is the only category where JP is faster, but I could be mistaken. Because of the new SRM and Ace stuff that's happening. So you can just do a backflip onto this door frame here and skip having to go all the way around where we're supposed to.
And it looks like everyone did everything well, so they'll be making this cycle just fine.
Jess missed the cycle a little bit.
Okay. So Dope is gonna pull ahead there. That's really nice for Dope. He's starting off pretty nicely making that, because that's one of the only things you can, other than bomb RNG, like if your movement's consistent, this is the only place you can really lose time in this first like half hour.
So we're just learning Sonata here from the monkey, not a just another lovely unskippable cutscenes.
Mm-hmm.
But after this, we'll be heading straight to Woodfall Temple.
Yep. And it is worth noting, it's pretty significant that Woodfall's done in 2 trips in this, because you grab Bow and you can Death Warp out. Oh, you grab Boss Key too. And it ends up being faster to come back later and do the second half of the temple when you have Fire Arrows and Goron Mask and Hookshot. So, yeah.
There is a route where you do all of Woodfall in one trip, but I believe it's a few seconds slower.
Yeah, it ends up being slower, I think, just slightly.
I think like 2 or 3 seconds, something very small.
The main reason it's slower because if you beat another temple before you beat Woodfall, there's a cutscene that doesn't play. But if you beat Woodfall as your first temple, there's a cutscene that plays.
Yeah, it's like a 40-second long cutscene, I think, something ridiculous.
And like the extra movement in the sword that you do ends up getting mitigated by the fact that you don't have to watch that. So yeah, Glitchless doesn't actually technically doesn't complete the temples in their quote unquote intended order, because it doesn't actually finish Woodfall first.
That's because this isn't intended percent, this is glitchless.
Yeah. Many people look at Glitchless and they're like, oh, you do everything intended, like that. Intended, that's weird.
Yeah.
But, yeah, a lot of things are not, which is cool.
You saw earlier they were actually able to just jump off that pad and pop up onto the ledge instead of going around and flying around up here to the soaring stone. It's a fun little thing. But not a glitch.
Nice little convenient time save. So yeah, Woodfall. So the temples in this category, in my opinion, that's one of the places where the category shines. I really like how the temples are done, and there are a lot of neat tricks, little sequence breaks.
Yeah, there's still lots of sequence breaking you can do, especially in the later dungeon glitchless, even without glitches. But you'll still get to see a good chunk more than you normally see in other categories.
Right here, Dope does a little optimization where he doesn't kill the Marco, instead stuns it and just walks right around it. The Marco, and then Jess is gonna opt to kill him.
I think the official name for that is hip loop, but Marco is a better name anyway.
So you can get bad RNG here and get a nut from these guys, and the reason that that's bad RNG, even though you end up having to get nuts later, well, I guess there's 2 reasons. One is that it's a 1 nut drop and you need more than 1. And then also, the first time you pick up Deku nuts, if you're Deku, you actually get an extra text box, or you get slow text or something, and I don't know, I don't read Japanese. Well,
it's slow text versus a quick text box.
Yeah, and so here you're gonna see after we hit the owl, we get nuts as human. Just skip that.
You'll notice Dope actually was able to do a small little trick where you have after you play the Sonata of Awakening to open the temple, you have 1 frame where you can actually take off the Deku mask, and then it activates a text box early, saves about a second or so.
So there's those 10 nuts that are going to be used in the well. Then there's a stick. It's going to be used in Woodfall. This route makes great use of Deku sticks too, because of a mechanic called power crouch stabbing. Well, it's not even a mechanic, it's literally just crouch stabbing being broken in the Japanese version.
Yeah, it was fixed in English, but in Japanese and that's another big reason why Japanese is faster than English.
And so in Japanese, the crouch stab, its default value, it doesn't actually have a default value. So if you try to crouch stab something without having first done a sword attack, it'll do no damage. So instead, what happens, because of that, for whatever reason, is that it takes on the damage value of the last attack that you did. So sticks all of their attacks are twice as powerful as the Kokiri sword's attacks. So we're gonna do stick jump slashes and things, and then crouch stab things, and they're gonna do 4 damage instead of like 1, as they would on the English version, which is what ends up being really useful.
Makes a lot of boss fights a lot easier. Coming up ahead in this next room, you're actually able to just go around this block. If you jump across this bridge in a certain way, you can actually just skip needing to pull the block like you're supposed to. You'll see these. I believe both of them are going to go. Both of them are going for it.
Yeah, movement here is a little bit tight because you don't want your stick to burn out. Your stick is actually kind of close to burning out by the time you get to the torch. But looks like Dope executed it quite well.
Yep.
He's gonna roll up the stairs.
Oh, Jess missed it just barely.
See, there that is. So that's just how precise that is. You can't really make movement mistakes there.
Yeah.
But Jess, looks like Dope executed that room pretty well. So now Jess has to go back and get another stick, which kind of sucks. But he'll have another shot at this.
One thing to note about the way sticks work in this game, when you run through a with a Deku stick, even no matter if the stick is lit or not, the timer for when the stick is gonna burn out actually gets reset. So you don't have to worry about putting the stick away and then pulling it back out to reset the stick timer. Oh, Jess almost missed it again, but he could see
that. He could see the stick there starting to go out, but it was thankfully it was still long enough to where the hitbox was high enough. So, and just making it past that room.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't catch it. Yeah, so Dope. Yeah, I didn't catch it because I wasn't watching, but it looks like Dope. He jump slashed with his stick. Why is my mom calling? He jump slashed with his stick already, and that stored his crouch stab with a stick value of 4. So he one shot
for that boss. Yeah,
which is pretty nice.
Yeah, coming up ahead on Jess's stream, he's going to be doing called a jump slash recoil, where you can actually just jump into this hole and jump slash against the wall, and you slide down the wall and just land right here next to the door. It skips having to fly around the room and go down the stairs. Little optimization there. And now you could leave the temple here after getting the bow, but it turns out to be about 20 seconds faster to actually go ahead and get the boss key while you're here, because when you get the boss key, you can do what's called a fast death warp off of the chest, where normally when you die, you have a little cutscene that goes around. You hear like the "you died" music, and it takes a little while. But for the boss key, it says a text box up while that animation is playing, it actually skips the longer version and gives you a shorter cutscene, so that ends up saving time. And here in this mini boss fight, you're supposed to use Deku to knock the frog off the turtle, but you can actually just throw a bomb at him, and that works just as well. Just another example of why I intended Glitchless. One small note is that the older route that left at Bow actually had fire arrows here, which makes this fight slightly faster, but it still ends up being faster to actually do this fight early.
Alright, sorry about that. Had to take a phone call.
You can see Dope getting the fast death warp here off the chest. It's a little subtle thing, but they've actually been manipulating their health to be at a half a heart at the end of this mini boss fight, so that they can just drop one bomb as they go through the door and then just die off of it.
And one of, I think, 2 death warps that they're going to be doing in the run, so it's a really good way to get out of a temple or just get to the beginning of a temple. Especially with how few hearts you have in this category.
Yeah. I believe most people go with 4 hearts.
Mm-hmm.
You only get the heart container from the goat boss fight.
Yeah.
Or some people might do 5, because the twin mold heart container is also pretty fast to get.
I think people
get a Odawa, actually.
Odawa?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I guess Odawa isn't that bad.
That one actually loses like almost no time just because of the wait time on the remains. Remains. But yeah. So next up, they're going to Mountain Village. You're gonna want to get Goron Mask as soon as you possibly can, pretty much, because that just speeds up movement so much.
Mm-hmm. And we need the bow to be able to access this area here to come up earlier.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to go get the Lens of Truth, and then after the Lens of Truth, we can go get the mask, and then ultimately learn the Goron Lullaby and the Snow It. You'll see first off, Dope is going to go over and hit Owl here. That will make this getting back here a little bit faster. It'll be faster to soar away from the Lens Cave rather than to walk back after hitting Lens of Truth. You'll see they're throwing in some more back walks here and there to go as fast as they can until they get the Goron mask. Now, one note here.
Dope's grabbing a extra nut drop that's going to help with Wart later on.
Yeah. One note here is that you could actually go to the Goron baby at this point, but it actually turns out to be about, I think, 3 or 4 seconds faster, roughly, to actually save talking to the Goron baby until after you have the Goron mask and get the hot spring water.
Mm-hmm. Just tons of human movement turned to Goron movement, pretty much.
Yeah. It is a little bit tight on the window to get there before the hot spring water cools, however. So it's kind of a risk versus reward sort of thing.
And yeah, each little patch, each individual patch of grass in this landscape has like a 50% chance of dropping bombs, so it's a really nice bomb refill.
And you'll see that they're able to just jump across these platforms here without needing to talk to the owl. The platforms are always there. They're just invisible, so if you just know the path, you can just jump across. And something that's not really relevant for this run, but each day the platforms actually are in a different position. But since we only come here during day 1, we don't have to worry about a different position, but just something of note.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with this ladder here. This ladder exists whether or not you have Lens of Truth, but we actually have to get Lens to be able to get Goron Mask, so there's no point in not getting Lens here or not using it since you need it and you have it equipped already. You'll notice that Dope is actually doing something. It's like mashing the Lens button to like turn it off and turn it back on, and that's just to conserve magic. If you keep doing that, you'll actually be able to use the Lens without using magic.
Ooh, looks like Justin get the bomb drop or the arrows. I don't know if that's gonna matter, but
yeah. And you have to take off Deku as well to be able to play the song correctly and get the Goron Mask up ahead, which is why they took that off.
Goron is like one of the more important masks to have in the game, and it just makes your movement so much faster. You pretty much have it equipped like as much as you possibly can. You use it for almost all the movement in the game.
One of the biggest parts of getting your time down in this game is just learn bonk every single one.
Yeah, it can be really tough to take tight turns and things without bonking.
And the Goron race, especially later, is also to get good at using just moving as Goron.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, aliens for sure is a huge thing when you're first starting out, just learning how to manage your in-game time.
Okay, so you notice there that Dope put on the Deku mask, before putting on Goron, even though he didn't look like he needed to. But when you put on a mask for the first time, you get that long mask transition cutscene, and putting on when you have another mask on before you put one on for the first time, it'll just skip that entirely. So that's why he did that.
Neat little time saver there.
And then here is just we're trying to get some things done before the hot spring water cools. So Dope's gonna go talk to the Goron baby, and then he's gonna use his hot spring water.
And Dope just when Dope just came out of the Goron graveyard, did something called an ESS roll. Normally you would spin out there on the snow and have to wait a little while before you actually get spikes, but if you do that ESS roll, which is where you just push the stick slightly up into what's called ESS position as you start that roll, you can actually get to full speed and then bonk the wall properly.
Yeah, it's a very subtle movement tech that's becomes very useful in the snow. So it's used a lot in this part of the run.
We mentioned aliens earlier, but the reason why is because we wanted to get the third bottle for the egg collection later, and we also get milk from aliens to use to get a mirror shield later.
There you go. Talked to the Goron baby just so that it'll start the whole Goron lullaby learning sequence. When you actually talk to the elder for the first time.
Yeah, you talk to the baby first, and then you talk to the elder.
And then here, Dope is gonna pour the hot spring water before he punches this boulder to save a little bit of time. Or snowball, not boulder. So it starts melting it before he even punches. Same thing for Jess. Now we have cutscenes.
Yeah. One thing I guess we could mention is that there actually is a way to technically skip getting Lullaby without using glitches, but we don't allow it in this category, simply because it's very difficult to do and very inconsistent.
Yeah, you can essentially Goron roll your way up the majority of the mountain, and then use sword slashes to stay on the ramp as you go in. It's really difficult, and it's allowed in bug limit, but it's not allowed in glitchless.
It was a big debate actually when it was first like RTA viable, but ultimately we decided nope, we don't do it here.
It's really cool that it got implemented. Like things were pushed that far though.
Yeah,
it wasn't really like considered something that was RTA viable until people just started doing it and trying it.
I believe it would save at least like 3 or 4 minutes. It's a pretty significant time save.
Definitely one of the harder things to do in the game, I'd say.
Yeah, for sure.
Dope's just gonna take a slight detour to grab those pots, magic and stick. Play that lullaby intro for the baby.
Call him baby ZFG over here.
Baby ZFG. Baby Ace.
Nice movement here by Jess, bonking every wall.
Lots of bonking. Some of the movement in this is pretty tight to do.
I've always liked the sound of the Goron just bonking into the wall. It sounds so funny. Goron makes a lot of funny sounds, like bonking and then just falling down when he
falling, getting hit, punching, everything really.
All the funny sounds.
So after this, they're just gonna go straight to Snowhead Temple. No real detours. Snowhead's a pretty interesting temple with a lot of its own unique tricks.
I'm just having a great time right now following the song.
Yeah, twice.
Songs are hard. They're actually really hard, and they're very frustrating to fail.
There was an old route that some people used to use, where you actually, instead of going straight to Snowhead, you actually went and you can do a damage boost and get into Great Bay early and get the hook shot. But it turns out to be a little bit slower. Funnily enough, actually, due to how we get a Woodfall boss key earlier on in the run, because we use in that one route that gets hookshot earlier, we use the Woodfall section to use at the in-game time, and since we get the Woodfall boss key earlier, that actually means we have less to do during the in-game time, which means it's slower.
Oh wow.
There's also an old technique used in that old route that makes it slower now too, because of something that was also ruled to no longer be allowed. And so getting that ended up being about, I believe, 40 seconds slower, but it is possible. Heading straight to Snowhead and playing the Goron Lullaby.
Oh.
Take it in.
Lost spikes there, just getting trolled a little bit by the seams
Yeah.
of the game. Still makes it over just fine.
But if you guys want to see what we were talking about with the Lullaby skip earlier, you can either look up a bug limit run, or you can on YouTube Lullaby skip no ISG. I believe will also give you the video for it.
Yeah, it's quite the sight to see, honestly.
Let's see if they can both make it all the way up to the entrance of Snowhead with one fall off. I know when I first was able to do that, I felt really accomplished. I was like, yes!
So yeah, Snowhead's really defined by its Goron damage boosts, and just a lot of really cool little Goron movement to get to kind of sequence break the temple entirely.
Mm-hmm. We're able to skip at least one key in the dungeon, and then there's going to be a puzzle later. You're supposed to go to the very bottom of the temple and pound down a switch to raise a pillar, and then punch out the parts of the pillar so you can get some place so you can access the tunnel. But you can actually just throw a bomb down and jump slash into the tunnel, as you'll see later. That's another example of a sequence break that we do in this category.
So here's the first instance in the whole run, actually, of a Goron damage boost that Dope's doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
This ends up being really useful in all the temples, really.
Just drop a bomb and start a Goron pound. You just get hit and boost over.
And then uncurl at the peak of your pound. Some of them are a little more precise than others.
Yeah, that one that Dope just did, I believe it's either 2 or 3 frames to do that one.
They're not very lenient, but
yeah,
you get used to it.
There's another one coming up in the next room. There's a small puzzle room where you're supposed to pound some switches, but we can skip it with a Goron damage boost.
Mm-hmm. And then here's the second one. Very nice. Oh, never mind. Not very nice. That one's more precise than the first one, and it can be really annoying with these bows.
I'm pretty sure this one and the one they did in the first one are the same. It's just the first one is just easier if you boost onto the block, but if you go straight up, it's actually the same. I'm pretty sure.
Oh really? It feels like you have an extra frame. I guess I'm wrong.
So you'll notice one thing Dope is doing here is you're actually able to do a curved Goron roll and jump diagonally across these ramps where you're supposed to go straight and then go around. But if you do it just right, you can actually just jump across. I believe Jess is going to be doing a slightly different strat than Dope did.
He has a little bit of a setup here that just guarantees that you get it.
Yeah. And then with the Wizrobe mini-boss fight here, there's supposed to be 2 phases to this mini-boss fight, but if you can actually, when his second phase starts, you have 1 frame to hit him, And if you do it, Dope just got it right there. You can actually kill him without having his second phase start. And that gets us our fire arrows.
Very nice. And then here you're gonna do. Dope's gonna be doing the exact same diagonal roll to get over to the other side. Looks like they're about 30 seconds apart. Not too shabby.
Yep.
So yeah, a lot of this part of it is just traversing rooms that you might spend more time in if you were getting stray fairies, but you really just want to get over here. And here Dope is gonna throw a bomb down to blow up these snowballs and jump slash in. Very nice.
Alternatively, you can use a fire arrow instead if you're too scared of throwing a bomb down. But you can just, as long as you blow up that first snowball with either a bomb or fire arrow, you can just jump in.
And you can roll right over here to make your way to the second wizard. Just going for that same cage jump.
Just missed up the jump slash into the tunnel. Oof.
Little
you fall down,
bit.
what you can do here is Deku Mask can run to the lava, and you can wait, and it puts you back up at the doorway here to try again.
So Dope's going for the second wizard up cutscene skip. Oh. Alright, he got it. That's nice. So he can get the boss key.
Just got tunnel jump. Nice, nice.
And then here's essentially the same thing. You're just a tunnel jump from the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Dope looks like he's had a really solid start.
Yeah.
That's what I like to see.
Not too shabby.
All that's really left here is to make your way over to Goat, which is really just a spike roll, and then kill the boss.
So coming up for the Goat fight, what you're supposed to roll around the arena, Ron. But if you get in a precise position, you can actually just shoot him down with arrows, as they'll be doing coming up. You could get in the corner of the area and just shoot Goat as he runs around the entire arena, but that's kind of slow. But what we can do is we can get into a specific position where we can shoot him with arrows, and yet he's not moving.
And then normally what will happen is when he's sitting still for a certain period of time, he'll just start his running around cycle. But what you'll see Dope do here is he'll side hop out and side hop back in so that Goat shoots lightning. It kind of resets his cycle.
I believe the cycle is like 1, 4, 10. I believe is the shots that he takes.
Yeah, or
1,
you'll
5,
do
9. Yeah.
Or you'll just do 5 and then 10.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice head from Dope, I gotta say. He didn't really make any mistakes.
Yeah. Aside from that one messed up damage boost, so that's very minor.
Yeah. So.
Nice. It is really cool to fight Goat as Goron, but turns out to be too slow, unfortunately.
So coming up after Snowhead is Goron Race, which is kind of something that a lot of runners dread because there's a randomness factor, and also if you fail it, you lose a ridiculous amount of time. And then, like, if you're going for one of those top times, you basically have to reset if you fail it, and it messes with your in-game time. It's just so bad to fail, and it's not by any means a guaranteed win like some of the other mini games in the game.
Oh, Jess having a little bit of trouble here.
Jess actually got really bad RNG there.
Yeah.
Select. Oh wow.
Last
arrow.
arrow.
I didn't think that arrow was gonna hit, but yeah, the stalactites just kind of fall randomly, and if one falls in your path, which honestly happens once every 20, 30 runs, I want to say. Like, it's not common at all. Just got owned, though.
After this, we're going to be going to Goron Race and then get a Pona and then go to Great Bay. That's what we're going to be doing next.
So actually, I'm pretty fortunate right now that if I actually lose Goron Race, I have enough in-game time to do another. I'm pretty sure. So
Yeah, so
I should be
here
pretty
in-game
safe.
time is it's getting to crunch time where you're wanting to make it to Garo Mask Race before night. So if the runners get unfortunate enough, or if they make too many mistakes and then they end up losing Goron Race so much that they don't think they're going to make it on time, they have to reroute Goron Race till later in the run. But hopefully that doesn't happen here. You really have to lose Goron Race more than once for that to happen.
Yeah,
although
losing Goron Race,
Jess might only have time to do one attempt though.
Losing Goron Race is a huge time loss. It's like a minute and a half at least.
Yeah,
And then you have to do the reroute.
Yeah. Which is even more.
Yeah, it's really bad, but hopefully nobody loses Goron Race because that would suck.
I feel like I lose Goron Race and Glitchless more than any other category, but oh well.
Maybe it's better on English, who knows. Anyway.
Goron Race kind of has a reputation for being an RNG race, but it's really not that much RNG. There is a small element of randomness to it.
If you know how to deal with it, it's pretty doable.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of practice. You have to know how to react to the Gorons. You have to understand the rubber banding because you'll know, if you're really, really experienced in it, you'll know when they're going to speed up and you'll know when you have opportunities to catch up and when you'll lose spikes when getting hit, things like that. There are a lot of really minute details that make a good Goron race and that give you the highest odds of winning. But there are very rare instances where you can't do anything about it and you lose, but those don't happen often.
And again, the reason why we're doing Goron Race is mainly just to get the bottle to make the egg collecting faster.
Mm-hmm. It ends up coming in handy too, because we can sell it for money.
Yeah. And we also need extra bottles for getting the bottom of the well, getting mirror showed later.
So Dope's gonna go and get that powder keg, free powder keg, from the Goron to blow up the rock to go to Goron Race.
Yeah, I believe Hundo is the well, in all masks you used to have to all masks and all fairy rewards. You used to have to collect the eggs, but now since we
every category used to, and then equip swap just ended that.
Yep.
For non-glitchless categories.
Yep. Yeah, even though the Goron race takes like over 2 minutes by itself, it still ends up being faster to get that bottle versus doing the whole segment without it. Or doing the whole run without it, rather. Excuse me.
Lots of backwalking here because the only real movement you can do with the keg is forward walking and backwalking. So you're going to want to backwalk as much as you possibly can while you have keg in hand. So this movement's pretty interesting, and there's a lot of places on these bridges where you can get what we call bridge pixeled, where you basically get trolled, and if you hit the bridge in the wrong spot, you can Link will like jitter and you'll drop the keg in that instance, and it can blow up, or the wolf can hit it, and it's really bad. And you have to get a new keg, and it's horrible.
Dope's doing a trick here we call the keg throw, where he's throwing the keg up the slopes.
Yeah, that last bridge there, you saw Dope actually threw it onto the bridge because he just wanted to avoid getting bridge pixeled on that last one at all costs. Because it's just really bad if the wolf ends up hitting your keg.
Imagine doing beavers in a glitchless speedrun. It's not 100%.
Alright, Goron race coming in for Dope. Hopefully we get some good luck and we don't get owned.
Get your Trev rolls ready, guys. if you have a trev roll.
It's really if you're getting hit by the Gorons, it's really easy to lose spikes. Like particularly if you're on a slope, you'll like always lose spikes when you get hit. And then if they hit you like head on, you'll lose spikes. And losing spikes in this race is just there we go. See, he gets hit. It's not necessarily a head-on hit. It's like a skewed, an angled hit, but it was still. He was going up a slope.
I just noticed I'm out of arrows right now, so I have to use a bomb to blow up the keg.
Oh, wow.
I didn't even think of that. That's amazing.
I've never been out of arrows here.
That's never happened before.
Thinking on the fly, though, I would have been panicking, honestly.
Yeah, me too. You might have been able to. I was about to say you might have been able to use Zora fins, but you don't have Zora here, so never mind.
I just lost. Are you kidding? My capture card froze. I don't know what happened.
Oh no.
Well, you lost the race too, or?
Yeah, this guy just came out of nowhere. I don't know what's happening. My capture card's frozen. My run's invalid now. Sick.
You don't have time to do another race though either, so.
I don't? Oh, shit.
No, because it's past 4:45. It looks like so. Definitely don't do another race. I hope you didn't start one.
I started if I can leave.
Okay.
I'm gonna pause.
Alright, so that's pretty unfortunate for Dope because now, I mean, other than his capture card dying, he now has to do a reroute because otherwise he wouldn't be able to get Garo Mask before night.
Yeah. I need to...
It's like Jess is losing spikes in the exact same spot. It's not a terrible place to lose spikes right before that section because you can get them back towards the bottom of that hill, but it's really common that you'll lose spikes there if you get hit.
Lost spikes there again.
Yeah, this part really sucks.
Yeah.
To lose spikes on. At least Goron's left him a magic jar. Honestly, if they didn't leave him one there, that would have sealed his fate, to be honest.
Yeah. He's getting close.
So the rubber banding in this race is the reason that he's probably favored to win it from this position, hopefully.
I lost.
Okay, well.
Nope.
Oh, yeah.
Dang.
Well.
They both lost.
Okay, so now both runners have to actually reroute Goron race to later in the run. It's going to be done during Alien segment. They're going to stay inverted now, but they're going to head straight to the ranch now so they can get Garo Mask. But yeah, before even getting Garo Mask, you still have to get Epona Song. And you have to get the keg license.
I don't have time to fix it right now. I'm playing. I'll have a second.
We could pause the both the runners, if that's better.
I have an intro cutscene here.
Right.
I have time.
So now Jess is going to grab the keg license because he needs a keg of his own.
Okay, it's back up.
For Epona.
Thankfully, there is a guaranteed arrow drop coming soon.
Or not for well, yeah, for Epona and for the rock. Oh, there's Dope Scotch card. So the routes are still synced up, funnily enough, because they both didn't have enough time for an go-on race.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go back after we get a hook shot.
Yeah, right after you get hook shot is the best time to go to that. The skip's just gonna be awkward because I don't think you guys have much of a plan for how to back up failing go on race, having to do it later, do you?
Well, so what they're gonna have to
in-game
do
time works out really weird.
Well, the in-game time ends up sucking because it's either you uninvert before the race or after the race. If you wait till if you do it before the race, it's risky because you might lose. But if you do it after the race, you end up you literally are early for Curiosity Shop by a couple minutes. So it's really bad.
Yeah.
I'll just reinvert, honestly. I might just uninvert before the race.
Yeah, uninverting before the race might be the move, and then reinvert if you have to do another one, but yeah.
Just hope you don't lose again.
Yeah, if you lose.
Dude, I shouldn't have lost, honestly. Like, I was pretty far ahead, but this guy just came out of nowhere, and I was, like, kind of panicking, because I had no game audio, so I couldn't really hear what was going on. So, like, my spatial awareness for the Gorons was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Just use time stop, forehead.
Yeah, dude.
So I didn't get to see the race because I just crapped out in the middle of it, but yeah. At least we get to see another Goron race later.
So right here we have the Epona archery minigame. Both runners are going to be going over to this fence and sitting against this fence and shooting all the targets. You can actually just ride around the ranch, which is what most runners do, I believe. But I know some of them do.
I'm really surprised none of those hit that balloon. What?
I'm bad.
The sun is in your eyes.
But yeah, so we're here getting a Pona song. You have to get this on the first day. So, and then you also have to do Gorman Race during the day. So you just kind of come here, go to Gorman Race, and then you're done with the ranch until aliens.
Yeah.
This is kind of where the whole big aliens in-game time segment starts. And they're just going to uninvert accordingly. Well, normally you'd uninvert accordingly if you didn't have to do Gorman Race later, but they don't really have a choice but to stay inverted now. So, yeah. So you just kind of have a slew of mini games in a row, honestly. You go Gorman Race, and then you have this, and then you have Gorman Race.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun, kind of interesting.
Yeah. You wouldn't really think of doing mini games in everything else in any percent speed run, but we do have to do some mini games here.
Just cleaning up nicely. And then you have to go get Dope is starting this race so he can get Garo Mask, which you need to get into Akana.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way to get in there glitchlessly without it.
Glitchlessly, nice.
If your in-game time is like really tight before Garo Mask, instead of riding Epona to the racetrack, you can just sort of milk road.
Yeah, you sort of off road and then play, and then go into Gorman racetrack and play Epona's song to call it. It saves in-game time, but it's slower in real time.
Yeah, because it can be as you saw, it's getting really close to night, so it can on a questionable run, you can be very very close.
That's true that most of the content in this game is quests and mini games.
There's my 46, Mr. Trev person.
Shoutouts to Trev person. Also, I think I had one run here where I actually got to Gorman Race and I didn't have enough. Right.
Oh wow, that's insane.
Yeah. It happened like once.
So now Dope is going to head off to Great Bay, get Zora Mask, do PF. He has all the bottles he needs, or he doesn't have all the bottles he needs. But
he has a empty bottle, so
he has a bottle, which is important because along with Hookshot, you grab that egg so that you can come back and get the other 3 when you have 3 empty bottles. So normally this would all be kind of under this in-game time like crunch where you're really just trying to play to a certain standard just to make aliens on time. But it's much different now because of the reroute. Let's see Jess's Norman race time. Gotta say that's below average for my man Jess. Still solid overall though. Still 46.
So coming up for pushing Mikau, there's actually one interesting difference between Japanese and English here. On the English version, you have to like hold the A button and push him, where Japanese you literally just swim it, pushes him.
Yeah, it's kind of dumb on Japanese, honestly.
It
you don't
really
get that
is.
automatic. You don't get that hand holding.
Mm-hmm. There's also a slight difference in that the platform underneath the marine laboratory actually was lowered on English, where you can just climb onto it, whereas in Japanese you actually have to do a Zora dive on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've had a couple runs die because I couldn't dive onto the platform.
That's the worst.
Yeah, when you're under the in-game time crunch, you really can't make big mistakes, or else your run's pretty much over. So normally this is around this point is where the runners would be uninverting, and they would just be trying to fit in everything they can, everything that you're supposed to be fitting in before aliens, and making it to the barn at a set time, and playing it very tight.
Yeah, they need to make it. They need to make it to the ranch by about 3:30ish.
Mhm.
For like about 3:20 probably actually is better, because the aliens win at about at 3:49. So you have to get into the ranch and shoot all the aliens at least once before it hits 3:49 and they win.
Yes, safe times go up to like 3:31, but once you get to like 3:32 or like 33, it's kind of sus.
Yeah, that's when it really gets scary. Shoutouts to Inop here who plays piano during this scene.
Oh my god. Shoutouts to
What I'm
Pope
mostly
Squidward.
worried about right now is not getting to the Curiosity Shop early because of the reroute I have to do.
Yeah, if you're uninverting after Goron Race, you're going to be early regardless. But if you uninvert before, like you can uninvert before, but it won't be. You have to win.
Yeah. I forget exactly how long it takes uninverted. I need to remember that.
But like with your gameplay, like if you uninvert after, you're gonna be so early. Like it's gonna be so bad.
I
So you
believe
probably
Goron
should-
Race inverted takes between 30 and 45 minutes, and then uninverted is 3 times longer. So you're looking at an
Okay.
uninverted about an hour and a half to 2 hours worth of in-game time.
That's good to know. The Curiosity Shop opens at 10.
10. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Most runners, when you're not rerouting, usually get to Curiosity Shop between like 11 and like 11:10ish.
Mhm.
And what's really interesting is that there's a when you come up to Ikana, there's actually a small little rerouting you can do depending on how your in-game time is looking, because you want to get to the ranch before the aliens win. There's like 3 different spots where you can actually leave Ikana and not lose too much time, and you can just change at which point you go back to Ikana or leave from Ikana rather, depending on what your in-game time is looking like. That's also a reason. All this and the in-game time management is the reason why you might see how a lot of runners have a large mirror shield split, because all of this in-game time stuff is contained within that, and having multiple. A lot of people think that having multiple splits in that just kind of makes it redundant, because you could have inaccurate gold splits.
Yeah, I'd make your some best really inaccurate.
Because you could because the algorithm would take your best from like the shortest time. So if you got if you did the first bit really well, but then the second half really slowly and had to wait, but then next time you did the first half really slow and second time really fast, then it would end up being a time that you couldn't actually get because you still have to wait on the in-game time anyway.
Mhm.
So entering Pirate's Fortress here, we just jump off into the water and go hit the switch and have to go through the sewers because we don't have any way of skipping the sewer section here in Glitchless. Most other categories can hover over, but
So for Zora movement, diving in the water, like at the top, like as you saw Dope doing for that whole section, is the fastest form of movement. So they're gonna be doing that as much as they possibly can.
I believe that's referred to as dolphin diving.
Mhm. You got
And something also to note is that pirates here have reduced vision at night, so you can get a lot closer to them without them catching you while it's nighttime. And that actually leads into another between the Japanese and English versions, which we'll be taking advantage of later. Is that so there'll be pirates in the hookshot room, and in the English version they fix this, but in Japanese only, the nighttime actually affects the guards in that room as well. So what we can actually do is just walk into the room, go around the first guard, and just shoot the beehive, and get the hookshot from the bottom room instead of having to go up to the top.
Yeah, super useful. Saves a lot of time over English. It's like Dope wants a rupee chest or something.
He's going over getting this ruby chestnut.
He thought this was a randomizer. No. But, a lot of cool little movement things like this.
Glitchless randomizer, boys.
So yeah, main objective here is really just navigating all of PF just to get to the hook shot, so that when you come here on the second trip, you're ready to go and you can just hook shot in.
Say Dope's doing these hitting these crystal switches as Zora. You could take off Zora and shoot them with the bow instead, but it's a little bit slower to use the bow, but it's also easier. Coming up on
I love
Dope's side,
rolling.
coming up on Dope's side, you'll see the what we were talking about earlier about going into the hookshot room, just going around the first one and.
Oh, okay. Dang. Yeah, Dope wanted to side out there already rolled and got caught immediately, so he's gonna have to re-enter.
Oh, I'm actually behind on the Dope's feed for me.
Oh.
But the idea there is you want to side hop to the right and then roll around the guard, because when you're rolling, actually, the guards won't notice you. It's only when you're walking that they will notice you. So if you just mash rolls, they won't notice you as you go by them.
So yeah, on English, you would get caught the moment you enter that door, regardless of whether it's night or day.
Yeah.
Here's a nice hookshot item, and this is where the rerouting happens. This is where they have to do Goron Race, unfortunately.
Normally, what you would do here is if they had actually completed Goron Race earlier and won, you just go from here and go straight to Curiosity Shop. But because they lost, they're gonna have to go do Goron Race now.
So it's probably gonna be best to invert right now and then pray that you win. If you don't, then you have to end up reinverting, and it's gonna be really bad. So yeah, all of this extra movement is part of the time loss of having to reroute this, unfortunately. So now Dope has to sort of the Mountain Village Owl and make his way to Goron Race again.
It looks like I'll be able to invert here maybe a little before I start the race. No, like 8 right now.
So almost any glitchless run you see will not do this. They would sooner reset than reroute this, but
yeah.
Losing the race itself, like we mentioned earlier, is it's almost 2 minutes time lost.
yeah, that alone is really bad.
And it'll lose even more time here because, as y'all mentioned, we'd have to reinvert again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully this is good. Race is probably extra laggy at night too.
Yeah, it is.
Have fun with that.
Yeah.
You can especially see it here at the very beginning.
Yeah, that's insane.
Oof, yeah, right there, just... Ugh. Let's get some more blessed RNGs up in chat here. If I could actually type. There we go.
Yeah, I guess Jess has made up a lot of time over the course of the run, because he was about 30 seconds behind in Snowhead, and then he's just slowly crawled his way back up, and now they're pretty much tied again. Which is really nice, but I mean, that's kind of... You have to look at the in-game time when you say that. You can't really just look at their runs, but their in-game time is pretty much the same at the same point in the run, so... Wow, that Goron did a really janky thing. What the heck?
You could also get really unlucky and get knocked off the side by the Gorons, and then there's no way you at that point. So you'd have to be very careful at those sections. Looks like Dope
Nice dope.
won
Is
his.
it dub? It's still gonna be early to Curiosity Shop.
Yeah.
So annoying.
Wow.
Oh,
And then-
Jess
I just got-
owned.
I don't. You hate to
Got
see it.
owned.
You hate to
Oh, we
see
need to invert again.
This is gonna be really annoying for Jess. So now he's gonna have to invert, play the race. And his in-game
I have to
time's
actually
gonna be-
wait here.
Yeah.
So epic.
Oh wow, he can't even invert. It just instantly starts the race. So he's gonna invert later, and
Yeah,
alien
you'd have to
segments
like say no to the baby, and then you can.
so
and
alien
respond to
segments
the
would be a little bit janked up then.
Yeah, so she pretty much just has to invert now and like stay inverted until pretty much right as he goes to the ranch. And again, Curiosity Shop doesn't open until 10 o'clock, so Dope has to wait here.
Yeah, under normal in-game time management, without this whole Goron race shenanigan, the Curiosity Shop would have been open for like over an hour by the time you even got here. So it's like normally not an issue.
I think if I win this, I can still make it. I just won't be able to soar from Give Dumbass.
Ooh, that was
Almost, yeah.
off.
Yeah,
But
it looks like I can maybe.
yeah, that would be really nice
Over.
because then your only actual time loss in this Goron race would have been like the text boxes, which is pretty funny. And then obviously having
I don't
to do
know if I
Alpha.
can, but I can probably do some inverted.
All right, let's see. So we might actually get to see how stressful in-game time ends up being if Jess just decides to play it like that.
That is one upside to the two bottle route, as we mentioned. So the two bottle route would actually not do the aliens minigame, so you don't have to worry about this stressful in-game time management here.
So yeah, Dope grabbed a fish for the well. He grabbed a keg and he grabbed a choose. So that's the only shop trip you do. The only last shop trip you do.
I think even with the Gibdosaur here, I'm gonna be early. That's kind of funny.
Oh yeah, you're extremely early.
Yeah, I'm like an in-game hour ahead of where I should be.
Literally. You can.
But Jess sells the gold dust here just to empty the bottle so we can get a fish in the next shop over. 'Cause we'll need magic beans, we need fish, and bombs and nuts, I believe, for the well. Later on, then that's just so we can get to the mirror shield.
Yeah, we also need a big Poe, but there's a big Poe in the well, so
Yep. And then the milk, of course, that we get from the aliens.
yeah.
That's the very last thing we need.
Yep.
The no aliens route would get the milk from my grotto on the way to.
So this failed Goron race might not lose me too much time if I don't have to invert, but I won't be able to soar away at Give Dumbass.
You'll have to soar like either at the.
I'll probably have to store at the L statue.
Yeah.
Gosh,
This. So in Icona, there's a few things you can do before you soar away. The most you can do is hit the L statue, play a Song of Storms for Sharp, and then get Dumbass. Those all the things you can do before you go to aliens.
Yeah, and depending on your in-game time, you can do a couple of those things like right then, and then save the others for later if you're like, really low on in-game time, or if you're really early, like Dope is going to be. You can do all three of them. Dope here doing the Captain Kita fight, making use of the power crouch stab, where he did a stick jump slash, and then you just power crouch stab to do a large amount of damage.
It's only I entered Icona like 12:15, so I think I have actually have 15 minutes of leniency for a cave sword. So in the end, the scoring race fail might not lose that much.
That's good.
Well, the second one at least. Obviously, the first one lost like a year, but
A literal year.
yeah. Yeah, I did miss the bomb drop like way earlier in the run, but I think I should end up being fine.
Shoutouts to Trev Person who hovered over this gap in his first 100% run.
Ooh, Dope just did a thing. Kind of didn't get a precise enough jump and fell
Ooh,
down the
yeah.
slope, so he's gonna have to roll all the way back, but he's got plenty of in-game time to spare.
Okay, that jump has a couple factors. One is that when you only have like a couple frames to roll there, and two, I think you're up a notch on your controller is part of it too.
I always just play it safe and equip hookshot and hookshot over.
I just mash A and it never fails.
I don't know how much the up notch has to do with it, but I definitely know you only have a couple frames to roll there while holding up.
So we have to get the captain's hat in order to access the grave area here. Because we need to get into the grave area to learn the Song of Storms, which we have to use ultimately to get the Gibdo mask, and the Gibdo mask ultimately to get the mirror shield.
Yeah.
Tons
There's a way to
of
open this.
stuff in the corner.
Yeah.
There's a way to open this chest as Zora, but it's not allowed.
Yeah.
You can do a weird Zora clip where you can open the chest while it's still on fire.
That's allowed in Bug Limit, but it's not in this category.
So here you're gonna see Dope fighting this Iron Knuckle as Goron. Good strats. Just have a nice little pound and punch combination strat.
There is a strat for that where you do only punches, but it's pretty risky, but it saves a bit of in-game time.
Yeah, so Dope's got so much in-game time to just screw with here, honestly.
Ooh, nice bonk by Jess. Jess is bonking all the walls.
Yeah.
Aliens win at 349. Ideally, we want to enter the ranch about 320, 330-ish. Yeah, Jess is really close here because he didn't manage his in-game time very well.
If he makes any mistakes at all, he's gonna end up having to invert, unfortunately.
Dope's gonna have a lot of extra time. You don't want to enter the ranch before 2:30, because if you're in the ranch at 2:30, that's when the cutscene for the aliens appearing starts. So you want to get into the ranch as close to 3:30, 3:20, 3:30 as possible, but no earlier than 2:30.
Wow, what did you even interact with there, Dope? Did you read Epona? That's so weird.
No, so what he tried to do, he tried to get on Epona as Goron, and Ada was like, "Oh, you're gonna flatten the poor thing."
That's so weird. That I rarely see blue text boxes like that. I got so thrown off.
Yeah.
Oh. So coming up here is just a precise hook shot to get into Akana early without ice arrows. That it's like the last kind of determining factor of what kind of soar timing you can make.
Yeah.
On this segment.
There's lots of different visual cues people use to line up the shot correctly.
Mm-hmm.
I know I used to struggle with this at first when I first started running the category.
Yeah, it's ultimately just knowing where to stand and then knowing where to aim.
Yep.
It's like Dope's got a decent position. Yeah, really fast one. So Dope honestly is gonna have enough in-game time to make Gibdo mask, to get Gibdo mask, sort of the ranch, and then probably do all human movement to waste in-game time and save a mass transition.
Yeah. Because mass transitions freeze the in-game clock, so we want to.
So yeah, Dope is like 45 in-game minutes early from.
Wow, Dope's in-game time is so early. The limit for entering the cave to get to Gibdo Mask on time is like 3.
He's a good 42, 43
I thought it was
minutes
like
early.
250 to get into.
I think people used to think that, but
Nah, you can definitely get in at 3. I've seen it with my own eyes. But yeah, Dope's a good 42, 43 minutes early, so
Just
nothing to worry about at all. You don't have to even barn shot or anything. Just needing to adjust his lineup.
What happened? Did you see that? Just
struggling.
wait for a second. I was like stuck. I had like another Goron mask on. I don't know what happened.
Oh whoa! I think that's the thing that happens in
Whoa. Yeah,
that can happen with the Gibdo mask cutscene. If you try to put the mask on. Wait, did you even do any mask transitions or anything? Or
I only put it on after hitting the owl.
that's so weird. Normally that happens. That can happen. That can happen right before you get Gibdo mask. Like, but right before you play Song of Healing, if you take off the mask, you'll have to like take it off twice. Super weird.
It reminds me of the if you're familiar with one of the methods you can use to get Fierce Deity on early. One of the, you get kind of in a similar state with Zora there. That kind of reminded me of that.
I've never seen that before there.
It just happened randomly too. No mask transitions.
I was like, why can't I use Ocarina? Hello?
Yeah, your Ocarina was freaking dimmed out. I was like, huh?
Your B button was also blank, I believe, too.
That's really odd.
Just having to invert here and.
Unfortunately, I could have made it to cave, but my icon early was really bad.
Yeah.
So
Coming up, you'll see Jess do something we're call barn shot, where you can actually just shoot arrows through the barn. It just turns out that during this mini game, the barn just does not have collision for arrows, so you just shoot right through it.
Very, very useful for making this when it's tight like this.
Not a glitch, by the way. Not a glitch.
Of course not.
But it's banned inaccessible randomizer, shaking the SMH inside of my head.
So the two runners, their routes are actually going to be desynced for longer than you might think here because, because so just hit the owl there, which means that, and after aliens, you're always going to have a set in-game time, so it's going to be close to changing to the second day, and you don't want to get that long day transition cutscene. So Jess is actually going to reroute, and he's going to go do the second half of Woodfall earlier than Dope is going to be doing it. So their routes aren't going to sync up for quite some time.
Yeah,
Not to
I don't
mention
want
the fact that he's already doing aliens, obviously.
It's gonna waste the fire equip, but that's significantly better than getting the day transition cutscene.
You don't get day transition cutscenes in temples and in cage in most indoor areas.
Yeah. One area that's kind of odd that doesn't have them is Southern Swamp.
Yeah, that one is one weird thing. I believe Mystery Woods have.
Yeah, Mystery Woods does have cutscene.
That Swamp doesn't, which is very strange.
So now Jess has to go. He has to play the song in the cave like Dope already did, and then he has to get Gibdo mask like Dope is doing right now. And Dope's gonna go do Alien.
And you'll get to see the main reasons why we save the second half of Woodfall until this point. We have both fire arrows and hookshot.
Yep, so all this movement in this room is extra, but again, it gets mitigated by not having to watch an extra cutscene after beating this temple first.
So there's not a lot of movement in Woodfall 2, but using Goron ends up being like 2 to 3 seconds faster, I think.
You can use a fire arrow there to light that torch instead of having to raise the shoot an arrow through the flaming torch, which is one reason. And then just doing this later is faster. And then of course right here we can use a hook shot instead of having to fly across as Deku.
That first dragonfly came from a really weird direction. It always comes at me head on, but like it came from the right instead.
Oh my! Wow, you shot one and then you immediately got owned by his friend. Thanks.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Woodfall 2 is extremely short and it's just aiming really.
Dope's coming up here to aliens, not using any Goron movement here to save or to use up in-game time. The Odolwa fight, there's a couple different ways you could do this. The most common method uses a power crouch stab. We'll see which method that he uses, or that Jess uses. Yeah, just shoot him with a bow, and then you use power crouch stab against him. Something to note is that Deku sticks actually do not affect Odolwa at all, so we have to use a regular Kokiri sword jump slash instead of the Deku stick jump slash, as we can do with other bosses.
There's 10, and he is dead.
Yeah, and there's two other strats. There's another bow strat, but you don't use PCS. You spam arrows until Odolwa jumps, then you quick spin, which is faster than PCS. And then there's bowless, which you wait for Odolwa to jump at you, which they're accused for, and then you jump slash and stunner with quick spins. Which I think that's still faster, but it's even faster if you save and equip from it. But in this category, I don't think you save and equip from it.
Not really.
But I think both of those are faster than PCS, but they're harder.
Yeah, quick spins are hard on the Odolwa.
There's a lot of strats like that in this category. Difficult, risky ones, but then there's also easier, more beginner-friendly ones. It's one reason why it's a really great beginner category.
Mm-hmm. So now Dope finished Aliens, but he's not doing Woodfall yet. He's gonna go back. He's gonna do the more optimal thing, which he's able to do because of his route thing with the Gibdo store. And he's just gonna come back and get Mirror Shield right now, and do Woodfall after. So he can make it into the well before the day transition.
Because the well doesn't have a day transition. As soon as you get like into the bottom section of the well, you no longer have a day transition. You don't even have to enter the well.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see like right here, as soon as like the screen goes dark and then boom, he lands, and then you would no longer have a day transition.
So this well section is really just delivering all the things that you've collected throughout the run, killing the big Poe, and then getting the Mirror Shield.
Pretty much after this part of the run, in game time it's not going to matter that much. There is one in-game time thing, or I guess two, but they're not really that major.
Yeah, it's really just, it's not something you can time with inverts or uninverts. It's really just if you play well, then it will line up the same every time with the final day.
Yeah, because you want to make sure you avoid any of the day and night transitions coming up ahead, and you also want to set up your in-game time to be midnight of the third day by the time you finish killing Twin Mold. Or a Georg, depending on... You can actually do Great Bay right after Mirror Shield, or you can go to Stone Tower and do either temple in either order. Most people do Great Bay first and then Stone Tower.
I don't think I've seen anyone do Stone Tower first, but apparently it's a thing.
I know I think it's mostly the Japanese and the like older routes that did Stone Tower first because they use Giant's Mask. The reason why most people do Great Bay early is so you can, which makes the Twin Mold fight easier. Most people have a easier time with Arrow's fight than using Giant's Mask. You're supposed to use the Giant's Mask for that fight, but you can actually just shoot Twin Mold with arrows and it works just as well.
So as I said, after this, the only two in-game time things we have left are avoiding a day transition by making it into Stone Tower Temple before day 3. That one's a little harder, but it's not too bad. And then there's getting to the Clock Tower after 12, which is pretty easy. If you just song a double time at the same spot, you won't be early.
And you have like a huge window of time to make it to the Clock Tower.
Yeah.
balls.
Fuck.
The only issue with going really fast for day 2 and night 2 is that if you can have cases where if you play fast enough, you have to song a double time twice in Stone Tower Temple.
Yeah. You really only see that in like the top level run.
Yeah.
But that still ends up being faster than playing two song double times, meaning you were just really fast and played very.
Even though it may look like it loses time, overall you just because of it you played faster, so it's faster despite the 2 song double times.
Yeah. One thing you really have to watch out for is making sure you don't get the transition from night 2 to day 3 as you're climbing Stone Tower, because when you're doing the puzzles there and you get a day transition, the puzzles actually reset. So you want to be very, very careful.
Yeah.
During that section.
If you get to certain points, though, it's nothing to worry about. But like if you're like near the bottom, and you're still working on one of the puzzles, it can be concerning.
Yeah.
So not dope is gonna do with fall.
And then Jess is just gonna go grab Gipto Mask and then go straight to the well as Dope just got through leaving that. Oh, something I guess we should mention is that you'll notice that when Pamela goes back into the house, they pull out an explosive and let the explosive blow up, and that actually gets Pamela to come out faster than waiting for her.
Yeah, I pulled it out slightly early there, but it's not a big deal.
Bomb chews are really nice for that purpose because you can pull it, and then as long as you pull it in the right spot, it'll blow up near the end of the cutscene, and then she'll like immediately come back out. But if you pull it too early, like he did there, it doesn't work. You have to pull out another one.
I think people might have thought you need to make it to cave before 250 because I don't think that strat where you pull the chew before the cutscene was known for a while, so I think that affected when people thought you had to make it to the cave.
Yeah, probably.
I could be wrong, but I think that's what could be the cause.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing about these reroutes is that my equips are a little weird right now. Like, they're not what they would usually be. It's another downside of reroutes is your equips can
Good
get
point for the
messed up.
quick spins on Adola. Messes it up a little bit. Now he has fire arrows equipped, so it's really annoying. So he's gonna equip bow there.
Oh, I forgot to grab magic at aliens. I barely have enough magic for a fire arrow.
Don't miss.
Yeah. I usually get magic from the grass at aliens, but I just completely forgot this time.
The difference in getting Mirror Shield before Odawa has to do with your in-game time. If you are able to, depending on how much you were able to do in Nikana before going to aliens. Because you want to avoid the day transition between night 1 to day 2, and you don't get that transition if you're in Woodfall. So if you have too much stuff to do in Nikana and can't avoid that day transition, it's better to go first.
There are some people who go to Woodfall after aliens regardless of what sword they get, but it's only slower by a fire equip, I think.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do that, maybe just to for consistency in their splits.
Yeah, the world record does that, even though it gets Gyvdosor.
You'll notice that in this big Poe fight, they're able to use bombs to blow up the Poe, and what the Poe's behavior kind of depends on. They will respawn behind you, So they are manipulating the Poe to spawn in the spot where they know that it will be, so they can shoot it down faster.
I mean, I messed it up a lot there, but optimally you want to do that with all bombs.
Yeah, I think Dope got
Yeah, I
it
think
all.
I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got it perfectly. Alright, so now Dope is done with the whole segment. And now he's just gonna head off to drop off his egg so that he can free up his bottle and go back and do all the egg collecting that he needs to do for New Bossa Nova, which is Pinnacle Rock and the second trip to PF. I
don't believe there's any difference between doing like Pinnacle Rock versus Paris Fortress first. You can do like either in either order.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The only person I've seen do PR first is RTA, but yeah, I don't really think it's slower.
There's difference in equips, of course, but I don't think it really,
yeah,
ultimately in the long run.
So as soon as Jess soars away, you could consider their routes synced. The optimal backflip. The Kurosh backflip.
I got it, even though I failed it.
Even though you failed it once. Swag points.
Still swag points.
So again, dolphin diving for speed, and then now that Dope has hookshot, he can just hookshot in and just go straight for the interior eggs.
There's supposed to be a lot of pirate fights you're supposed to do in this to get the eggs, but you can circumvent all but one of them in this category by just jumping around.
Yeah, it's really neat.
Yeah. And the movements you do to accomplish that are actually relatively easy.
Yeah, this first one you just do a jump slash off the wall.
Yeah, just jump slash recoil. Looks like Dope's lining that up and then gets it.
Second one, you just literally jump over the sloped ceiling.
Yeah, that was quite the oversight by Nintendo. I think they fixed that MM3D though, you can't.
Really?
The wall's too big. Yeah. I have no magic here, so I guess I'm gonna have to grab the drop behind the lab for Pinnacle Rock. Pinnacle Rock would be really slow without magic.
I remember when I played this game casually and I didn't know magic barrier, Zora magic barrier, so I did like Pinnacle Rock and the Gjord fight all without using the Zora magic barrier.
Wow.
That's crazy.
As you might imagine, I struggled a lot with Gjord without magic.
What did you do to hit him?
Yeah, I had to like knock him down and then like go down to the bottom of the water and just Zora punch him.
Dude, if I thought that was the intended way to fight him, I'd be so mad. Like trying to play casually. Like, why do they make you punch this boss 10 times?
That's what I thought. This was 10-year-old me.
Another small optimization I don't think we mentioned was when you do a jump slash and you land, you can cancel the rest of the animation by spinning the stick.
Yeah.
It's just like a small thing.
Yeah, it's useful in a couple places.
It's actually like for one of the older 80% routes that used to play on English and did the Majora fight on English. You would use that as a strategy to beat Majora's Wrath quickly. You can keep her in a stun lock if you cancel your jump slashes. I suppose technically you could do that in this category too if you ran on English, but English is slow, so we.
It is still useful for Fierce Duty Majora fight.
This tank ink right here that Jess is in right now problematic because in the Japanese version, they've actually you are able to grab a fish instead of an egg. It's very common to do that. So what people usually do is go back to the back wall and get into a specific position so they don't grab the fish. I believe they fixed that in English, where you will always get the egg will take priority over the fish when you swing the bottle.
Yeah, Dope grabbed the fish there on accident, and then Jess was able to avoid it. So Dope's soaring out now. He's just gonna deposit his eggs and then go grab the other 3 from the eels.
Oh well, I've never seen that movement. That movement through that pirate there by Jess. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think it's a little slower, but it's like the easiest one.
I've always seen people just roll around, just roll, and then side hop around. Never seen backflips like that. Interesting.
That's pretty neat.
There's lots of little strats and stuff in this category and in this game in general, where you can do alternate ones. A lot of people do like slightly different strats.
Yeah. The reason that pirate skip works is usually when you're just like walking, like the pirates will notice you, but if you just constantly like side hop, backflip, or side hop, the guards won't ever notice you. If you just keep doing them.
Yeah. They only turn towards you when you're walking, and they hear you're walking.
Also, a funny thing: if you're Deku and you use a Deku shield, they won't catch you.
Yeah. They can be looking right at you and they won't catch you, as long as you don't angle your shield up.
Wow, why is the game failing?
It's nice that there are a lot of small things like that we can exploit in this category.
Here for Pinnacle Rock, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to get a picture of the pirate, show it to the fisherman, and he'll give you a seahorse, and that guides you through here. But if you know the path, you can just go through the path. And as we mentioned earlier, diving on the surface of the water is actually faster. So if you know the path, you can just go up here on the top and dive across the top, and it's faster than walking across the bottom.
Yeah, the path is pretty easy, so diving through the whole thing isn't that bad if you know how to do it well.
Yeah, it's pretty much like counting dives and just making sure you're like not in a really bad angle.
Yeah. I'm gonna grab a magic drop here because I have no magic.
Dope's getting a little bit low on magic.
Like
I see.
Yes.
For some reason, Jess's feed just dropped to like really low FPS for me.
Yeah, I had to refresh it earlier.
It keeps doing that.
Try refreshing VLC.
Yeah, I refreshed and it's still doing that. Let me try this again.
Like close it down completely and then restart it with the stream again.
So there's a strat for killing the eels without magic, but it's not very fun and it's not fast either. You have to stand below it and shoot Zora fins at it.
Yeah.
There we go.
But that is slow. We want to go fast.
Oh, looks like Jess
Oh, Jess got eaten by the...
got owned. And then he...
fell all
I
the way
believe, what
down.
is it that causes you to get sent to the bottom? Is it holding R the whole time? Something...
Oh,
you did
it's
something
somewhere.
wrong there to get
I
sent
think
to
it's
the
only
bottom.
on JP.
Uh,
I could be wrong, but I feel like it's only on JP.
so Dope's finally done with his whole trip, his egg collecting trip. Now the last thing to do is drop them off. He's gonna void here a couple times just to get back to shore faster.
Just killed that one.
Fun fact that they actually changed the way the void works in the English version. On the English, you would actually get like up onto the shore farther where you're actually standing versus on JP where you're still backwards and swimming. So English would actually not be faster to void there.
Yeah, 100% you don't void there for that exact reason. Now that
Yeah.
Hondo's on English.
Yeah. Or if you need to go like to the spider house right after or some other point, but since we're going straight back to the lab, it's faster to void.
And then once we're done depositing eggs and getting the song, next part's probably the most entertaining as a viewer.
Yeah, Great Big
Very
Temple
good.
is really really cool, but it's also very difficult as well.
Yeah, it's probably like the hardest part of the run. I think most would consider it as such.
Yeah, probably the hardest dungeon of the whole run.
There are a lot of tricks that just like, if they go wrong, they just lose you so much time to fail.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there'll
the
be one trick
strats are
coming.
consistent, but they're like some of them aren't easy to pull off.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be one trick that they do like into the first room of the game, or first room of the dungeon rather, that is really, really cool, but also can be kind of difficult to pull off.
Yeah, one of my personal favorites.
It's really difficult when you start learning it. You get
Another one of those cutscenes that you can skip normally, but can't in Glitchless.
Yeah, there's a couple frames you can pull out Ocarina and store away, but of course we don't allow that.
Yeah, it's almost night for me already, so I'll probably be getting the day transition for Stone Tower. Usually you want to get the night transition for night 2 like around maybe like right before you push the first turn key in Great Bay.
You want to make sure not to get the transition while you're in the water swimming, because then you'll get put back.
Yeah.
That's probably gonna be hard. I don't think you can actually make it to Zora Kate before the day transition.
I also forgot to mention we are avoiding the night 2 day transition, but that one's not hard to avoid. But I made a lot of mistakes.
Dubs and him's looking nice for that one. He's gonna be getting it in the temple.
It's also important to make sure you don't get that transition while you're trying to do that one you're talking, because a lot of people will actually use a pause buffer to make that trick a little easier, but you can't pause during that transition. So you want to make sure you're not in an awkward position where you can't pause if you need to pause for it.
I remember one time in one of the little 80% routes, Dope got a night transition right before he did the New Wave Bossa Nova cutscene skip, so he couldn't do it.
Oh yikes!
Yeah, it was a frame perfect night transition too. Like,
wow,
it was right on the money.
Oh, I know what I'm doing.
I think it's like one of my most popular clips on my channel right now. If you want to go look at it.
I'll probably look at it later. I'm curious now.
It's pretty funny.
You can get to the water before that. Or no, it's a day transition. You have to worry about transition. Excuse me, you're fine.
Despite our time differences, the race definitely isn't over yet because we still have Great Bay Temple.
Definitely, yeah. Great Bay Temple and Stone Tower Temple can.
Stone Tower Temple can kind of be iffy, but it's quite a bit easier than Great Bay.
Yeah, the biggest thing with Stone Tower is Twin Mold, really.
It's not at all unlikely that you lose between like the mini boss in this temple and like all the hard tricks that you just lose an easy minute
or more. Yeah.
Like just the mini boss alone, you can consistently lose like 30 seconds most of the time.
And the movement in this dungeon is also very difficult to get used to. Remember my first couple runs that I did of this category, constantly bonking the walls.
It's pretty tough. We have a pair of pretty skilled, experienced runners, so
yeah,
we'll see how they tackle it.
Raid is definitely where most of the practice goes into in like Mirror Shield segment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are like the two most important parts of the run. Besides just like the whole first section of making sure to get to Garo. Like when you first start running this game, the first biggest milestone is being able to make it to Garo Mask without needing to play Song of Time and extra time. That was for me was the huge first big milestone, and then you can work for other things from there.
All right, so here comes Goron Water Wheel. A lot of things are going to be happening fast here, but so here comes this this elevator platform thingy. Dope's gonna ride it up here. Do a little bit of a setup to get in position. Jump onto the water wheel. Mash Goron Mask. Pause. He gets a good pause frame. Oh! Okay, it looks like he didn't quite jump in the position he wanted, so... he's not gonna reload... yeah, so... Now the cycle's all set back to where it was, so he can just try the trick again with his exact same setup. But... he ended up falling off for some reason. But, just gonna try again.
Yeah, that trick can be a bit finicky. There are multiple reasons why.
And then he's gonna curl, and then he makes it. So that's Goron Water Wheel. That trick's really cool. It skips turning the yellow turn key in that room and jumping across the water geyser.
I believe if you failing the trick once is about equal with doing it the intended way.
And then there where Dope utilized the mechanic where if you target while you're swimming as Zora, when you bonk a wall, your camera and your whole position, like your whole orientation, will like go back to what it was when you targeted. So he like preserved his target angle, his bonk angle. So when he bonked out of the water, he was able to turn like 180 and grab that ledge there.
And there was another gainer there to get up to the key instead of waiting until after you have ice arrows and using the chew jelly there as a platform.
So the rest of the first half of this temple is pretty tame other than the mini boss. And now Jess is going to do some of the hard tricks at the beginning.
Hopefully he can get it first try.
Yeah, let's see. He doesn't have to worry about any transitions or anything, which is nice.
Yep. I know some people use Zora Human here, which makes it a little bit easier.
Oh, Dope missed a bit of a precise jump there to the...
Oh, yes, missed. Dang it.
I got a really weird position there. Like, I turned to the left, or I turned to the right and not the...
Let's see. Dope is getting control a little bit. So this is another thing that can lose you a lot of time if you fail this boss key jump. It's so annoying. Those 3 tricks back to back to back can make for a really bad beginning of the temple if you don't nail them all.
You can just jump to that boss key. You don't even have to do anything. Just jump to it.
Yeah.
Oh, just bonked the wall again.
Oh wow, that's really bad. Yeah, I think that time your pound strat actually kind of worked against you.
Yeah.
Because you ended up lower on the water wheel. That's fine. At least this trick you could just keep retrying over and over as you void out. So now Dope grabbed the key. Nice bonk. Optimization. And now he's just gonna head over to the mini boss and get ice arrows. And that's only the first half of the temple, which is honestly the easier half in my opinion.
Yeah. Once you get to the mini boss.
Yeah. And it's hard. But yeah. So then we have Wart. Ooh, that looks a little low. Oh, it's a little bit scuffed.
Oh god, it's just barely.
Alright, nice. So now Dope's fighting Wart, the mini boss. This boss has like, you can lose a lot of time on this boss really easily. Doing it optimally is not easy because you've got these frame tight double hit bomb pulls that you're trying to do. So I'm not sure if he got it because I don't have audio on, but what Dope did was he pulled the first bomb at consistent timing because he knew when the first eye opening was going to happen, and he threw it at the eye, and then he pulled another bomb to try to hit the eye a second time before it closed, before it became invulnerable again.
Yeah, it looks like he didn't get the double hit there. Otherwise, Wart would have fallen there.
So first phase went okay. Normally you just want to get 2 double hits and then he'll fall immediately, and then right here, so yeah, he's going to use a bunch of Deku Nuts to get the bubbles away, and then the eye is just kind of vulnerable as it opens, and then you just want to shoot it. The difference between a fast fight and a slow fight in this is like so much. That was honestly a pretty decent Wart, so it's nice. You can also die to the boss if you get really owned, just because you're damaging yourself all the time. But
I believe you can also use Goron Mask, and if you get a well-timed Goron, instantly kill Wart, but it's very difficult since Wart is constantly bouncing around the room. That's a butter strat right there.
That's crazy. So yeah, now we've got ice arrows, which is very useful for the second half of the temple. You need it to freeze waterfalls and such, and freeze this Octorok right here.
I
It's gonna
thought
be
this was
used every
100% for a second.
game. Oh gosh, yeah, Dope almost left the room. Oh, he did leave. Oh no, he didn't. He almost left the room, but that's not what you do. You have to turn this turnkey.
Yeah, pushing these
geez.
turnkeys right here is pretty much something you'd like not see in any other category besides this one, which is kind of cool.
I'm not having a great time on this pipe.
Yeah, this pipe can be complicated.
That last one was me being dumb. I was trying to do an inverted backflip to get on the platform faster, but I messed it up.
I remember I have some funny clips on that pipe right there with the real chew just exploding for random reasons.
I remember watching you one time and he just blew himself up.
Yeah, like twice in a row, just blows himself up for no reason. It's funny.
I'll never forget when an VC crashed on there in Hundo. It's really funny.
Gotta love VC crashes. If you're not familiar with VC crashes, they're the Virtual Console version of this game has a reputation for just randomly it can do what's called a just crash for like no reason. It's very very rare. It doesn't happen very often, but it can happen just randomly. The only time I've been running this, I've run this game for like about a year, and I've never had a VC crash happen on me in a run, only in practice. But I do know lots of runners who have had VC crashes during runs.
I've had one during a run, I think.
Now Dope's did a little setup there, so you can get onto this turnkey here without needing to use the ice arrows and make platforms.
I had an okay word fight. Yeah, I think I VC crashed like twice after running this for like a year and 4 months or something.
I remember my VC crashes because I was specifically practicing the Ikana graveyard in the second day grave when you're going to the piece of heart when you the other Iron Knuckle fight for 100%. I was practicing that room, and then I voided in the room, and just all of a sudden, VC crash.
Nice. I know one of mine was crashing on Twin Mold like a year ago.
Oh wow!
I crashed going into Adola's boss room in 100% run.
Oh, nice.
There was also one time where you VC crashed after leaving Great Big Host in 100%.
Oh yeah, I also VC crashed picking up Gyorg's remains.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, I also VC crashed at the beginning of my glitch randomizer for this.
Nice.
Good thing it was at the beginning, so it didn't really matter. But
yeah, I think
that was
Tower is like the most common place to VC crash at. I don't know the exact reason, but it's what I've heard.
So now Dope's gonna do one of the harder tricks on this segment. He's gonna jump slash onto a rotating water wheel.
It's actually a little faster if you pull out fins before you jump into the wall. But yeah.
And, okay, so he missed a little there, but there's a backup here they can do. Oh, this is a weird way to do the backup. I've never seen this before. And it works out.
Yeah, I've never seen that particular angle. Usually you line up the angle with the wall.
So funnily enough, you have to turn human there because if you're Zora, you're so tall that you get crushed by the ceiling as the water wheel goes up.
It works out anyway because it turns out it's a little faster to use human in this room because you want to jump over here to this next.
That seesaw room has like so many variations to it, like with like the forms you use and stuff.
There is actually a method where you can just, instead of using a fire arrow, use the Zora and Zora jump over to the
I think
switch here. It's also really difficult to do.
There's also an easier strat where you use Deku and Zora, because when you're on the seesaw's Deku, it doesn't move, so you You get on the tall one, highest one is Deku, and then you turn Zora and jump to the turn key.
Shoutouts to DF who does that strat.
Alright, pretty much all the temples pretty much done for dope. At least in terms of hard tricks, now it's really just getting to Georg and then killing him.
When you dive off that turnkey like Jess just did, there actually is a way where you can press the B button at this very specific point. You
Yeah,
can
I got it.
Pop up straight up on top of the thing instead of just grabbing the ledge. Feels really good when you get that. You just pop up out of the water, instantly sit next to the switch and pull.
So yeah, Goron voiding here just sets you back to the last entrance you came in at. So that's why it's like the best way to get back there.
See Jess pulling fins here to make the water wheel strat a little easier. See if he gets it. Oh, his angle was off.
That was, yeah, it was a little too far to... Wow. Yeah, it was a little too far to the right there.
Oh, I'm not sure what happened to Dope, but I guess he fell somewhere. Into the boss.
I've never, like, I know, like, when you hold A, you dive, but, like, I usually just mash A and it works. But I did it twice, and I'm like, okay.
And there was... Jess is also doing a different backup than I'm used to seeing.
This is the backup I know. I mean, maybe because Just taught it to me, but...
Yeah, the backup I did was the one Trev taught to me when he was teaching me the category.
Yeah, I've seen the one that Dope used. I've just never seen it used at that specific camera angle. Normally,
Oh, I see.
lined up straight, perpendicular with the wall, and not diagonally.
I think Jess is gonna be doing this room the same way as that Dope does.
Yep. Oh, I missed the fire arrow though.
I think the one, other than it being easier, the one advantage of opting for fire arrows is that you can shoot Gyre with fire arrows, so you don't have to re-equip them for LG split. It's like the one advantage of using fire arrows here,
Yeah.
so you don't have to re-equip them.
And for Georg, what you can do here is pin him up against the pillar here, and skip having to stun him again, as you see Dope just did there.
And then you can also dive onto the platform again before this cutscene starts to get the fastest fast fight, but
It's a little bit hard to do.
Yeah, and if you mess it up, you can actually end up on the bottom of the water, which is really bad.
Yep.
If you're in the bottom, as far as I know, you're like basically guaranteed to get eaten.
Yeah,
You're at the bottom.
just loses so much time.
I think I've had one time where I fell into the bottom and I made it back up, but it's super hard to make it back up.
An even harder strat I can do for Gyre is use Zora fins only to stay Zora the whole fight, which is extremely
super
fast.
Yeah. Saves mass transitions, but of course it's harder to get him in the right position.
I think it probably saves like 10 seconds or something.
I didn't mean to pick up this heart container. Never mind.
So yeah, quite a bit of time. Jess's health is actually a lot lower than it normally would be here, so
Yeah.
if he gets eaten, he's dead. That's
I usually
fine.
don't pick up this heart container, but since my health is really low, I'm gonna pick it up.
Normally, if you're playing fine, you don't get eaten here, but it can be scary.
Hopefully I don't get eaten, but I haven't done this fight in a bit, so you know, it's possible.
So after this, Dope is going to be heading off to Akana Castle to get Elegy, scaling Stone Tower, and doing his last temple.
Yeah, Iconic Castle's not that bad. It's got some cool exploits though.
Yeah, more Goron damage boosts. And his last fight.
And you can literally just throw the keg over the fence, and you can skip half the castle that way.
Yeah.
So here you can see just using fire arrows for Georgs just because he's going to need to have them equipped anyway later.
You just have to mind your magic though. Make sure you don't run out of magic during the
Yeah.
fight.
I think I should have magic though.
Because unlike Adawa, fire arrows just do the same thing to York that normal arrows do.
What do fire arrows do to Odalwa?
They actually damage him.
Yeah, and normal arrows just stun him.
Gotcha.
Oh, oof.
I felt too late there.
Yeah, you're gonna need to be a regular arrows.
I definitely grabbed the heart container now.
Yeah.
So they're doped at a gainer on that sunblock.
I don't think we mentioned this, but when you have beeping health, the camera is really bad. They want to have like a dramatic effect, but it makes it to where you can't walk straight. You're basically drunk when you walk.
Yeah, we call that a critical camera.
It's like, yeah, and it messes with absolutely everything you can imagine.
It's weird because Ocarina of Time actually has a different mechanic called the crit wiggle that they do instead, but then they changed it here in Majora's Mask for whatever reason.
It's absolutely horrible.
Crit wiggle is so strange.
Yeah, it is.
It's just so random. Isn't like after a certain number of frames it does the crit wiggle?
Yeah, it's like I want to say like 200 something frame, or maybe it's 120 frames. That, yeah, it's really weird.
Definitely prefer that over what MM has though.
Yeah. Just don't get that frame, that weird frame when you're trying to roll, and it'll be okay.
Because crit health messes with a lot of setups in this game.
Yeah.
So here's the Goron damage boost, just straight up over this fence. Skip like everything.
Yeah. Over half the castle, skip out another Whiz Road fight.
And here's that keg that we bought.
And if you position yourself just right when you blow this floor up, you can actually skip a small cutscene of it blowing up. Dope got it.
And then here's the Egos fight, which is going to make use of power crouch stabs yet again.
Egos can be a little scary for that low health, but it's not.
Yeah, so here they're gonna be death warping out because you can't. Because soaring out is really slow, and you're just going straight to Stone Tower anyway.
Yeah, you have to like leave Egos room if you want to soar out.
So they're gonna be taking damage throughout the whole fight to get their health down to where they could just damage themselves with one bomb chew right after getting elegy and just die. So they're gonna intentionally be taking damage, and that's why it can be scary. You can easily die if you mess up, or if he hits you through your shield. Because Majora's Mask.
That's why getting the Carpenter is really bad, because look how many hearts I have right now, and I have to go all the way down for the Death Warp.
Yeah, the more damage you have to take, the more time you have to spend just waiting around, waiting for them to hit you. So here's Dope is just gonna own these guys with crouch stabs. They die really fast. That power crouch stab.
Next flair I don't think was mentioned was usually you have to hit the switch to lift that checkered floor so you can get up to the switch, but if you just walk across the Zora, you can just go across the room. You just jump slash up to it.
Dope's getting hit by Egos 1,000 times, so his health is low. And there we go. Nice bomb chew.
I'm bad. Yeah, I was trying to damage myself right before the cutscene, but I had made the mistake of putting it on Y, so I obviously missed because that's the inferior button.
Choose on Y, Dan's game.
It's just the way my equips worked out. I didn't want to do a double equip.
Yeah, overall, not bad. Sometimes the fight can, if they're stubborn and they don't want to hit you, it can just waste a lot of time.
Something kind of funny is that after war, I think you only need like 5 bombs for the entire rest of the run.
And those Gibdos there won't, or
Redeads.
Redeads. Those Redeads won't freeze you if you're rolling. So
They kind of work off the same mechanic as the pirates, where they see you if you walk, but if you or side hop, they really don't see you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to get hit a lot. His henchmen do half a heart, I think, and then he does a whole heart.
Mhm.
There you go, Dope's killing himself. I'll throw a bomb to save a chew just in case.
Oh no, I have shoes on while, so
Oh no.
I didn't even realize it. Rip.
Weirdo.
Why do you do that?
So now Dope is
It's really bad when he
leaves.
shoots,
Just run roll straight to Stone Tower.
shoots his purple haze at you. It's really slow.
Oh, yeah, bad RNG.
What's even worse is he can take off his head and he chases you for a really long time, but that rarely happens.
Stone Tower is kind of interesting because even in Glitchless we're able to skip a little bit of the puzzle here. You're supposed to like press all 3 switches down on each level, but you can actually, for the most part, skip most of that.
Yeah, there's lots of LNG playing in this section.
Yeah.
Honestly, losing most of the time lots in this can happen if you fail the song a bunch. It's kind of hard to play it well.
Yeah.
Play it fast.
Also, a fun fact is using Zora on that first switch saves 3 frames over using human. Because it skips the cutscene.
Is that because you won't have to see the cutscene of that one block going back into its place?
Yeah.
Because every other section we're going to be using, you're going to be using Goron and Human for all the other LG switches here. I know if you have Captain's Hat on in that fight, you get an extra text box. But I'm not sure about if he immediately takes off his head.
So now there's only like one kind of scary trick left in the run, but we won't see that till Inverted Stone Tower.
You can see here, Dope can just able to just use the hook shot and hook shot over and skip having to play LG on that last one. Gosh, guys, you guys are dying all the time. You're so bad.
Hope I don't die when I get light arrows.
Just don't fall down Stone Tower like I did during one of those races.
Falling down here is so devastating.
Yeah, I got like all the way to the top, and the last one with boulders are coming down. Both of those, it got me twice.
I still remember that. That was like over a year ago at this point.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. I was racing. It was Trev versus Trev, Jurnus, and Renegade. I was
Yeah.
Up until that point, I was fairly keeping that pace with Trev, but then that happened, and just
Yeah, I remember most of the time you were like relatively close to Trev, and then that happened.
Yeah. I ended up like didn't even get under 3 hours because of that.
So here's the last switch for Dope. Now all he has to do is jump on the block and play it again. Get carried across. There's actually going to be health management in the temple too, because there's another death warp coming up.
Ooh, that was close. You targeted that keys.
Oh my god. You like clipped onto the block.
That's never happened before. I was kind of scared because I targeted
That
the
would be
keys.
I don't know, a horrible way to fall.
Yeah.
That keys is coming after you.
In the most recent Glitchless community race, like last month or no, it was like in December, Ragan was like hookshotting up to one of the posts and the keys hit him like while he was falling and he fell all the way down.
Oh no. Awful.
Really, the keys are the worst part. The keys can really just own you sometimes.
Mhm.
Also, getting hit by this BMOS is really bad if you get hit by it like twice. It's in your crit health.
So right after this room, Dope's gonna be playing Sonic Double Time, just to time it so that he can get into Clock Tower at the end of the run.
Songs are hard, man.
Yeah.
Link's knee is not having fun right now.
Oh, almost. That's pretty much exactly what happened to me, Jess, except I off. And not
Dude, your freaking your statue almost owned you.
I had a run like a long time ago where I did that. I was riding that last platform.
Dope, you want to play Sonic Double Time, by the way?
Then I ledge grabbed at some point, and then when I was climbing up, the boulder hit me off.
Oh no.
I think it was one of the cases where like I was standing too close to the edge when I played Elegy, so like my statue pushed me, and it caused me to ledge grab, and then the boulder owned me.
Dang.
I think that happened. Something like that happened to Dope. Like he was standing too close to the edge of the block, and the statue pushed him off.
I think
Everyone
there was
has
one
their
time.
own stories.
Yeah, I think there was one time where Trev actually got like a long jump off the side of there from the boulder
Wow.
and fell off.
I remember when
Stone
I think
Tower
Zippo got a long
stories.
jump off one of the blocks with off of a keys.
Oh, I need to get more health. I think.
See Dope being able to do the dolphin dive up here to the small key and not having to resort to alternate means to get up there. You can if you mess up the dive there, the Dexy hand to throw you up on the thing, or take off Zora, and then put in Zora again and grab the ledge.
Yeah, you can also get a 45-degree angle in the corner.
And then dive up. Yeah, you can do that as well. This room was always really irritating.
Yeah, so shining light on this mirror for a certain amount of time makes it light for however long, and then you have to quickly make it to the other mirror and shine the light on the sunblock, but Dope was a little bit slow there.
Ah, dang. I know an older strat that people used to use was to go and kill all the bows before they did that, and just knock the entire pillar down. But this turns out to be a little bit faster if you can avoid doing that.
Yeah, a strat that I have always liked was the one where you drop a bomb as you're jumping across so that it kills the bows.
Yeah, that's also an option too. I've tried that before. It's not 100% consistent for me, but if you can pull it off, it looked really cool.
And here's another damage boost. Foreign damage boost. Dope took a little bit of extra fire damage there because he noticed that he would have to fix his health for this death warp coming up.
You could fly through this whole room as Deku. I don't think it's that much slower, but I think you need to take damage anyway.
Yeah.
Ends up being more.
Garo Master with stick, power crouch, stab, and light, and ice arrows just ends up becoming really fast.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, jeez.
Oof, close.
With my health right now, I'm gonna have to take damage at some point. Like after I kill
You can make use,
Garmaster.
Dope was making use of the invincibility link to this to not take damage from Garo Master there, and then just shoot him with an ice arrow and power crouch step.
And then that fast death warp that was mentioned earlier in Woodfall is made of use here when so that's why Dope wanted to wait before he opened the chest. It actually matters because you want to open it on the last few frames before the bomb explodes, so that the sound from the getting the light arrows is still playing by the time you close the text box and die.
Looks like he got the slow. He was a little bit too slow though. He got the slow death warp.
Yeah, so you lose quite a bit of time. You lose like 5 seconds or something.
Yeah, that light arrow text box is so slow in English. You can't fast death warp off of it.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that.
Yeah, I think you have like a, if you mash the text box frame perfectly, you have like a 3-frame window to open the chest.
I know some people, what they do is they actually pause buffer bomb explosion until like the 2 frames, so that they have they're able to get that.
Uh-oh.
I think it ends up being faster than getting the slow death warp.
So now Dope's just out here moving this block to invert the temple, so we can just do the second half of it. Looks like just got a good timing on this, so he doesn't even have to get perfect mashing. He can lose a frame.
Oh, his health is off.
I think I had glitched health from like the wall or something.
So yeah, a lot of things in this health. So your health in this game,
I didn't take damage by wall.
your health in
I
this
got glitched
game
health from
actually
something.
is in 16ths, and there are a lot of things in the game that damage you in 16ths. I don't know what it was that made Jess's health bad there, but
I know don't the flames do like a 16th of damage?
wait, is it even 16ths or is it just 8ths? I don't even remember.
I think,
But
I think it's 8th.
it's probably just 8ths. So he thought he had half a heart, but he probably had like 5/8 of a heart.
I must have got hit by a keys on the way up or something.
Yeah, and then the residual flame damage was taking his health down in 8ths. So 5/8 just displayed as half a heart, and then he took half from the bomb and was still alive. Pretty unfortunate.
Right here you can do a jump slash recoil out of this updraft and just go straight over it here and avoid having to do the Deku flower up here. And then you can also just do a side hop jump slash right here. This
And then
skips like
here's,
over half of the dungeon there. Just that right there.
And then you can shoot Igor from down here, which is super awesome because it allows you to hookshot up. Super nice.
Yeah.
Dope. Nice early Igor, and then you just killed Gomez, and now that Igor's dead, you can just hookshot up there.
I'm
It's kind
pretty
of a
sure
precise
that
hook shot, but
jump slash down there plus early Igor saves like 45 seconds or something over the strat. Quite a bit of time. Because the intended strat is you have to get a key, and then you have to go up there and kill Igor.
for a second I thought you were saying that just doing side hop and skipping half the. Wait. But no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So here's Gomez. It's the same concepts are being abused with the roll invincibility as other bosses.
And then of course power jumps, the Deku stick jump slash power crowd step.
Without that, this boss would take so many hits. It's insane. This boss has a lot of health.
I believe the English strat you could use either bombs or nuts to knock the bats away, and then use light arrows to damage him, and that wouldn't be too much slower.
Little shaky early Igor.
Ah, he missed the last shot. Dang.
That's fine. So then the backup for that is to just retry it.
Yeah, I have to just go kill Gomez and then come back and retry.
The annoying thing about the early Igor backup is that I will want to get magic at the bottom of pre-boss.
Yeah, since Dope got it, his magic was full here. So it works out really nice because he's going to be using elemental arrows on Twin Mold. So now it's really just getting to Twin Mold and then getting to the clock tower.
Yep. Getting in the home stretch, boys.
It's worth mentioning that in Twin Mold takes triple. Twin Mold will take 2 damage from normal arrows on his tail, and then he will take double damage. Both colors of Twin Mold take double damage from light arrows, and they take triple damage from elemental arrows of the opposite color. So Dope's gonna just use fire arrows for blue, and then switch to ice arrows for red. And it's gonna be a super fast fight.
Alternatively, you can use Garo Map in Acoustic Jump Slap PCS. Some people prefer that, but it's generally seen as more RNG. I know it's more popular in the Japanese runners than for us.
I think a really good Giant Smash really close to a good arrow fight, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. If I remember correctly, it turns out that arrows is generally better. I believe the general consensus is that if you don't have ice arrows and you only have fire and light, then Giant's Mask is about equal.
Yeah, it's
And then if you don't have fire, you only have light, then Giant's Mask is generally faster.
Yeah, so red or blue Twin Mold dies super fast there. The first cycle for him is always the same, so you're always gonna get. You can always throw a bomb and then do a fire arrow, and the damage actually works out really nicely for a bomb and then 3 fire arrows.
I struggle with this hook shot so much.
Looks like Dope actually is gonna go for red now. Maybe he hit blue with 2 fire arrows, and then he's gonna do the rest when he has no magic. Alright, red is dead. Or maybe red already died. I'm pretty sure blue already died. I completely forgot.
Yeah. I was a little confused there because I knew blue had already died.
Oh, yeah, there's Twin Mold. Last temple's now done.
Now it's just to Majora into the final boss fight.
Yep. Still in the second cycle of the game.
Yep.
And in-game time is really nice because you can just roll right into the clock tower. Tried it since it's past midnight. Yeah, in order for Dope to lose this race, he'd have to die to Majora.
You'd have to. You literally have to die to Majora.
They both have like 6 or 7 hearts though, so
It's possible, but
it's definitely possible.
You'd have to just have bad RNG at that point, like the worst.
or you'd have to like really just fall asleep at the wheel.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen. I will say that.
The class Majora moments are when people have like 4 or 5 hearts with FD and they die.
Yeah, that's happened to me before. And, when I've done all masks, I had Fierce Deity and like 4 or 5 hearts, and yet I still died.
Majora is insane, dude. Crazy final boss.
Like god awful, to be honest.
Just moving on to his red Twin Mold.
Majora is a pretty skillful final boss, but there are elements of it that are just flat out RNG sometimes.
Yeah, I hate Majora, but it's always a cluncher because your run is not secured until you've killed him, until you actually just dealt the last hit to Rab, which is kind of exciting. This is really the only category now that has that factor. Like any percent doesn't even fight Majora anymore, and then every other category has FD. So.
Except for like all dungeons, unless they're doing the
all dungeons might SRM FD because that saves like 30 seconds. In
that's
Majora.
true. That's true.
I think my PB just finished.
Still sub 3, looks like, unless you get a bad Majora.
Yeah, it's looking like a 259.
Not a bad time for a race for sure.
Considering that whole Goron race shenanigan,
Yeah,
like
definitely.
that, honestly, like,
Once
gosh,
it's like Odolwa, I was thinking I probably wasn't gonna get sub, even though I didn't play well at all the whole time. I thought I wasn't gonna get sub 3.
Just
So
letting you know,
possible.
Dope's capture card is frozen because Dope is trying to get the game audio back running. So that's
Oh.
that's intended.
Oh.
He's got a long cutscene coming up, so plenty of time to
Yeah.
do that.
not really any gameplay.
No.
But yeah, that whole Goron race fit, like, just having to back it up and all that combined lost so many minutes.
Yeah.
Cut out again, dude. Very cool, Kanye.
So that's sad.
Feels bad, man.
I guess Jess is the winner of the race regardless because he has a full recording kappa.
Yeah, totally.
Should be good.
It was good. It like came back for a couple seconds and then it died again.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been acting up today.
Oh, there we go.
What capture card do you use, Dope?
Aver Media LGX.
Oh god.
It hasn't really given me many problems.
Yeah, at least it's not the LG.
It's true.
Don't you use the LGX too, Jess?
No,
Oh. Which one do you use?
I have LGP2 Plus, but it's nowhere near as bad as just the base LGP. I've not had really any issues with this one. I had audio delay issues, but I fixed it by just turning stream 480p, and now I don't have audio delay issues or audio desync or whatever.
Wait, can I even use a bathroom? No, I won't risk it.
Before I had the LGP Lite, anytime I would open like anything in a web browser, there'd be latency.
And we're in.
So I think about composite, it's somewhat simpler, and I usually tend to have just using composite.
Conveniently enough, there's magic right here, so you can grab it in order to get spike roll to the Majora kid on the moon.
Yeah, you pretty much always grab this med. I'm pretty sure. Well, I guess unless you hit like every twin mold shot, then I guess you don't.
I think you would still want to get it.
Oh my god.
Nice punch.
Then you have to chase the magic jar.
That was epic.
Yeah, Glitchless is one of the... Like, I feel like it's one of the last good categories remaining after SRM, to be honest.
Yep.
I mean, I think 100% is still pretty good once you get past SRM.
100% too.
Dude, it did it again! I'm actually gonna...
Oh wow.
Glitchless is a really good race category, though.
Yeah.
I always have fun racing it. Despite how rusty I am, I had a lot of fun racing this.
It's definitely one of the best race categories for sure, because it's so consistent. You don't have to worry about dumb tricks.
It's always so fun when like you get the same bomb RNG and stuff.
Yeah.
Because like in the last glitchless, the last glitchless CSR annual race thingy, like everyone on the restream got first try. I'm pretty sure. It was funny.
But getting fourth when everyone else is getting first is like it hurts
Yeah, it's
so
just
much.
the worst feeling.
Yeah, mine's just dying. I don't know why.
Also, glitchless is the only category with Giants cutscene.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so weird.
That's
It's the only one that. Oh, never mind. I was gonna say it's the only one that goes to the moon, but it's the only one that goes to the moon traditionally.
Unless you count bug limit.
Yeah, bug limit. But bug limit, like, it has all of the same things. It's Japanese
Yeah.
a lot.
just
Yeah.
Japanese glitchless.
It's the only category that X. I wonder if there are going to be any rule set changes ever for this category again. Because, like, last time we had votes and stuff, I wasn't very invested in the category. But now I, like, care about it.
Weren't the last biggest things, like, save and quit and glitchless lullaby skip?
Lullaby skip and Sunblocker Road.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
those ones were a lot more recent than save and quit.
I guess I'd say, like, wasn't save and quit, like, the last one that's actually, like, implemented those.
Yeah.
But that was, like, back in, like, 2017 or something.
Either 17 or 18. One of those. It's been a couple years.
This is always going to be a great category.
Mm-hmm. Somebody's excited in the background.
Yeah, sorry about the background noise.
That was greatly timed though.
Oh,
I'll get him to scream PogChamp when Dope finishes.
Glitchless is a great category. Woohoo!
I think Glitchless Hundo is also good.
Glitchless Hundo is really.
I plan to finish one run this year at least of that, just so I can say I did it.
Too. Whenever I learn, it's like, yeah, I have time to run this, right? But I don't have a lot of time to run it. I'm still gonna run it. I just don't know when.
So Majora does have some strategy to it, some nuancing. So it's basically just the mask phase is really just Zorfin the mask down and then shoot it with light arrows. It's kind of the strat here, and then 2 light arrows will bring in the second half of the phase.
You can use bombs to actually knock the mask back down if you're really, really good.
Yeah, there is a faster strat for this that only like.
Oh yeah, using bombs is optimal, especially for incarnation.
And it skips all kinds of mask transitions and whatnot. But yeah, mask phase is relatively consistent. You can get owned. Wow, Dope actually got a double fin hit there, which kind of sucks. But relatively consistent phase.
Now the way you can get owned is if like you don't in the right direction, and Majora like lands in the little crab, like the little thing at the other side of the room.
Yeah.
So here you can use strategy use Zora barrier as the fight is starting and pray that incarnation runs right into you and gets knocked over for a quick stun. So there Dope didn't get that good RNG, but hopefully he can still get a fast stun with his light arrows. And then power crouch down.
Incarnation is targeting Majora. That's the most annoying part.
Yeah. Oh, Dope got a little unlucky because he didn't get a restun there. But there are several strats that people use for restunning incarnation, like bomb strats or quick spin strats. But yeah, not having magic here is good because he can rapid fire arrows.
Yeah, shooting light arrows at incarnation is really not good.
And then here, it's worth noting that because Dope is using light arrows, even though he doesn't have magic and isn't actually shooting physical light arrows, Wrath isn't going to jump, so that makes this fight really fast. But you're also right in the middle of the arena where he's actually going to do a safer strat. So that normally you would just shoot Wrath immediately and crouch stab her from the middle of the arena, but then you have a chance of getting hit by a remain. But it looks like
I got owned on the last crouch stab.
bad RNG there, and there it is.
Oh, champ.
Cool video game.
PogChamp.
Yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Let's see if Jess can get a decent Majora and get a sub 3 to pair with his buddy. Oh wow, he got very unlucky with the
I
fin.
always get owned on mask. But it's a,
Yeah, this is a good
it's a double
demonstration
hit.
of how mask can
my
go wrong.
fins, none of my fins hit there. It's great.
And you can't do the infinite fins thing because it's a glitch. I always forget about that being a glitch. All right. Well,
Something to note about that attack that Majora was doing, you have to be sure not to get hit by it as Zora, because you will instantly void and restart.
yeah, it's counted as fire damage. Which...
It's not like you'll have Deku on, but that also happens if you have Deku.
So sub 3 is unfortunately not really possible anymore.
Yeah,
But
That's bad, man.
you will not die to the boss, so it will be a win.
yeah.
So let's see if we get the good RNG.
Ooh.
Nope.
Yeah, the thing about using Bombs for Incarnation is that, unlike what happened to me there, if you have a bomb, you'll get he'll. Because the way my crouch stabs worked out, it was just at a bad time. So having a bomb there would have knocked him down again.
Alright, Wrath.
So yeah, like I said, like this is mostly RNG as long as you can do crouch dabs. This phase, because you're ideally you just do this in the middle like this. Right.
It's time for Jess.
And time.
GG's.
Very, very nice.
I had fun. Despite how bad every moment was, it was had a good time.
Oh yeah. Glitchless races are always really, really fun.
Yeah.
Alright, GG everybody.
GG.
That's a fun one.
So we can get George in here real quick. You here, George? Oh.
That echo.
Wow, that was
Yeah,
amazing.
sorry.
My bad.
Slow up, please.
I didn't
don't
see it.
drag my- please don't drag-
I didn't see it. I'm sorry.
It's all good. Sorry about that. But yeah, I have the two Discord accounts not working out too well there. But yeah, what a race.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ended up being pretty, like, didn't you say right at the start that these races end up being normally pretty far away from each other due to like the start RNG?
Yeah. There's RNG that can cause quite a bit of a deviation at the start.
I guess it ended up being a pretty close one.
Yeah, just a couple
Yeah, I
minutes
think
off,
so. It was pretty close.
Definitely not a bad time for a race at all.
Indeed.
GG.
Alright, make sure to give our lovely runners a follow here.
Oh yes.
Dopezzera and jess57329.
And don't forget the commentators.
Who are those guys? No, I'm kidding. Yeah, actually.
Follow Kuroshi, the best.
Yeah.
You follow Croce, he streams every day.
Oh,
He's on the grind 12 hours a
every
day.
day.
Just saying that due to the layout stuff, Zuna got bumped
Yeah,
off the
Zuna,
Discord
yes.
cap, like the Discord widget. I can
I
fix
stream
it.
every day, but it's only at the times when you're not awake.
Yeah, it's like
Accurate.
it's 4 a.m. in the morning.
For everyone at the same time.
Yep. I sometimes see Dope on and go check out his streams. He's pretty cool. He's pretty cool guy. He's a big weeb.
Go for
Yeah.
I talk about
I'm not a
like talking
weeb.
about Black Clover. What?
Nani?
We were talking about you.
Oh, what?
Jeff is getting the 100%.
I was talking about Dope.
I heard George for some reason. Sorry,
No.
It's been a while. It's been 5 long days, so.
I mean, we all know you're a closet weeb and you're just denying it. But it's okay.
Dang, this was the closing round of the marathon, huh? It's epic.
I guess I'm what they
Being
call
accused of being
closet.
a weep here live on stream? What?
Uh-oh.
Be having that.
Surprise. Yeah, I like to talk to Dope about Black Clover a lot.
Yeah, we weeb out on my streams sometimes.
Yeah, I'm sad that they're taking a hiatus.
I haven't really been watching anything either, to be honest.
Fair. I just heard that they had an announcement that they were taking a hiatus, which kind of makes sense. I mean, that they just ended on a huge arc. They probably gotta figure out where the hell they're going.
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of shows recently. I finished both seasons of Steins Gate.
Is that what you're doing
Dude, I
instead of
love
getting the
Steins Gate.
glitchless
Oh, man,
burger?
Steins Gate's amazing.
I love season 2 was a bit of a drop off IMO at some points, but season 1's god tier.
Oh,
Steins Gate Zero is okay.
All right, this is weeb talk is too much. I guess with that note, I guess we should probably head on over to the intermission.
We have actually. I think we have time for letting the credits play out.
Okay.
No, don't you think? We should let the credits.
Beautiful,
play.
beautiful credits.
MM credits are great.
Love that we can just warp to them now. Get to experience it faster.
Oh, actually, if you really wanted, we could show off like an ace demonstration real quick,
Hog.
like through a
Oh.
YouTube video,
Oh.
if you really want. But
I saw the new Ace.
Yeah,
Is
it's
that what
insane.
Fence
We
it?
already
It's
have
pretty-
an Ace demonstration, don't you know?
Kappa.
The character's named Ace.
I see.
Arigato.
Sure, it took 3 hours, like almost basically 3 hours, but we did glitch.
You did arbitrary code execution. You just didn't execute any code.
We played the video game. That's the code we executed.
We had all the right file names for it to work. We just didn't do it.
Indeed. Yeah, like the new fin skip is really cool. I really like.
Yeah,
Like
it made
it's
it
really cool.
way faster.
It's kind of funny how like Majora's Mask. Like it seems like you guys are pretty just. You're like, yeah, we're fine with the Ace, whereas like OOT is just having this huge controversy.
Yeah,
Over
I
it?
don't know.
Yeah, we kind of just are like, yeah, NSR, 100% NSR, and any percent it's pretty much banned. That's what
Yeah.
we've been talking about.
I haven't kept up with OOT, but I've heard it's been a big thing over there.
Yeah, it's been this huge controversy.
Yeah.
I just want to say that to everyone that the final run of the marathon might be over. There's still going to be a little bit of a traditional announcement left at the ending screen, so stick around for that. Stick around for that, everyone. There's a little bit of a tradition that we do at the end, that Slower likes to do at the end of marathons.
Hint, hint.
And that's not playing Persona 5. That's part of it, but that's not that.
Hint, hint. Okay, I'll stop.
We're gonna watch anime.
Yeah, we're gonna watch anime.
Just now.
It's gonna be yes, instead of we're gonna have a yes weebs allowed.
It's allowed.
Gross, you
Only
learned from the
weebs.
It's gonna be
closet.
all anime. It's gonna be all anime video games.
There's actually a
I
marathon.
mean, this
for
isn't
the-
Japanese, so it's anime, right?
Sure.
There's a marathon
Yeah.
for the Cyber Dimension Neptunia series. I think it's called HEDT Fun.
It's called Dopathon.
Accurate.
It's called Dope's Playground.
We don't talk about that.
So, has anyone here been watching Darwin's game?
Huh?
Been watching Darwin's game?
Nope.
No.
It was pretty good actually. It's like Yuminiki, but like it's basically like Yuminiki. It's like the only thing I can think of to compare it to. Except it's like more like with money and stuff like that.
But yeah, it's been another long 5 days. Like, event's over again. What do we do now?
I submit 100% for yes, which is allowed.
Spoilers, come.
Maybe.
9%, and then I submit 100% glitchless for the next no glitches allowed.
Oh dang.
Ooh.
Then I submit all dungeons.
No, you don't. Current
Well,
AD
you
is
finished
high
Reverse run. Yeah, now we just do all the runs, but like in reverse again.
Right. When is reverse dungeon order for?
Reverse
Yeah,
dungeon.
Yes,
Wait,
Glitches
that's
allowed?
I need to route that.
The reverse dungeon order, except it's glitchless.
So
Did you
it's literally impossible. Nice.
Oh, I should
It's not,
submit
that's not
AF4
literally
glitchless.
impossible. It'd just be really, really cancer. Because you'd have to do really dumb stuff.
Category like no one's ever ran.
I mean, that says the guy that runs OOT randomizer on a daily basis, so...
You're not wrong. I've pretty much become a rando runner over for a speed runner at this point.
I forgot how long these credits are.
They're like 10 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, they're a hot minute.
We got time.
Yeah, we're a bit quote unquote ahead of schedule. So.
Yeah. Finally gotten all the masks to see all that.
Yee.
That's why you should head over to my Twitch channel so you can see them.
Oh yeah.
Because
We could be getting 2 credits right now, but Dope's too lazy to
100%.
mash the text.
SMH.
I'll do it
It's
right
like-
when his finishes, so you have to watch more.
I don't think that's gonna work. That's a good meme though.
How about since there's nothing after this, or after whatever's happening next, just have Dope do a Hundo run so we can see the best credits?
Oh, champ.
Yeah.
When is best ending though?
Yeah,
Yeah, just ask her everything for best ending.
Best ending is so bad.
click your controller, fool.
Hey Ben. Yep, you're just in time here to watch the finale.
Oh, 71,000
Just your game is
backers.
Bro, your
I
capture
can't-
card dimmed. Come on. There you go.
Okay, to be fine though. A second.
I was getting angry, man.
Feels
I can
bad.
see the awesome credits in full view.
I think Red's back. He feels good because he didn't glitch.
Yeah. He's proud.
Is it because he's not transformed?
Yes.
Okay.
But
That
yeah,
would be glorious.
In case
I
you
would just.
Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say it would be glorious if someone at YJ just submitted NSR. That'd be great. Just OOT NSR. That'd be great.
Is that category like an hour at this?
It's like 30 minutes, dude.
Yeah, it's
30
30 minutes. It's ridiculous.
It's the length of any percent.
But yeah, in case Dope and Jess have any other people they want to shout out, any Discord links they want to post, then this would be the perfect
The
time.
end.
Follow everyone in the voice call.
Yep.
Except me.
Don't follow that guy. We don't like that guy.
Yeah. Fuck that guy.
If I get 20 followers, I will do a randomizer.
If I get 20 followers too, I'll race you.
Oh, man.
Yeah. With that being said, I think we're gonna cut it over to the final screen of the marathon. So, as usual, the runners and commentators have the last word.
Well,
I'm good
Thanks
here.
for watching.
Thanks for
Thanks
watching. Thanks for having me and letting me commentate. It was a whole lot of fun.
Shout out
no
to
problem.
Simple Flips.
MM is the greatest game ever created.
Shoutouts to NOP.
Shout outs to
Shout
First
out
and
to
for
my
Box
dad.
Movement.
Yeah.
Shout
someone
outs to
that,
CFG.
Shouts to Pope Squidward.
Shouts to Seedborn.
Shouts
Shouts
to
to
Veneer.
Imbued.
Imbued.
Shouts to Ragan.
Shouts to Furniture.
Furniture.
Shout outs to George,
Shouts
even
to
though he doesn't run this game.
Shouts to Gron Guy.
Okay. I think it's a little too
No.
much.
Shouts to IngX24.
No.
Shout outs to Dude Sandstorm.
Okay.
I think
Shouts to Bruce, dude. He made this possible.
Bruce Schenkel, dude, going hard on the AD routing, really. He's our Lord and Savior.
We good?
Yep, we
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Thank you again so much.
Bye.
No problem, gamer.
Thank you, Justin Dope, for not cheating.
You're welcome.